me.
Welcome back to another episode of the We Love Gaming Podcast, episode 49, and today is a good day. This is Mother's Day weekend, so if there's any mothers out there, happy Mother's Day to y'all. Well, this is Monday, so it would be like a prior to a
Belated.
belated Mother's Day. Yeah, for sure. But before we get into any of the topics, we still have the giveaway going. So if you guys want to go ahead and comment and like this video, you guys will be entered into the giveaway. Make sure you subscribe also, because that is required.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what have you guys been playing this week?
So fill me in, Mark.
Sure. So, man, how long has GameFly been out? A long time.
At least like 10
when you
years.
sent us
Dude.
that text, man, I didn't even know that company still existed.
I thought they went out of business,
Yeah.
dude. But anyways, I signed up for a free trial of GameFly because I wanted to play Returnal. I wasn't trying to spend 70 on it. Not that I don't have
Absolutely
70,
not,
all right?
dude.
It's just I'm very conservative with my money. And I saw GameFly had it, and then it showed you availability. It said high availability. So I was like, ooh, if I sign up for a subscription, free trial, maybe I can get it. So long story short, I didn't get it. I got
I didn't get
High
it.
suckers.
but I got Pokemon Snap.
Okay, so that came.
That came.
Okay.
So it came yesterday. So my wife and I played it yesterday for a long time, like about 5 hours.
Nice.
And it still has all the luster of the original.
Really?
But this one, the graphics for a Switch game are pretty impressive. My wife was even surprised. She's like, wow, these graphics. I was like, yeah, these graphics are... It's hands down the best Pokemon graphically game. Granted, the Pokemon games aren't really graphically intensive, but this game has the best graphics of a Switch game that I've seen to date.
I guess they got
Played
to, right?
on
If
dock.
you're sitting there focusing specifically on like
Taking
imagery,
pictures. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like getting a picture it should look like a damn crisp picture.
It looks amazing. The game's really fun. It has all the cool things of the original. Like you have your throwing your apple, you can make sounds, but it adds a lot more, I would say, replayability because it adds like kind of like a star system on your pictures. So depending
interesting.
On
on
how
what
good the picture is,
That's
or whatever
cool.
the action is.
depending on what they're doing, it'll rank it 1 to 4 stars, and then
Okay.
you have an album. So you want to have 4 different pictures of each Pokemon. And it's cool. Then it ranks within the stars. You can get like, bronze, silver, gold, diamond.
That makes sense because animals do things more rare at times than other things that they would do. So if you
Right.
catch it doing a rare thing, then that's cool. That's
Exactly.
a cool idea.
If you catch it with other Pokemon, if you catch it
Right.
doing things, it'll, increase the stars. So it's cool because it normally, you would just like in my head, I envisioned, I'll just want to, keep getting 4 stars, but it adds an album. So it gives you an incentive to just take all pictures,
I
and
see.
you're like, oh, this is a
To
really
fill
good 2
all the
star.
different stars
This is a
up.
really
I
good 1
see.
star. And then you try to get your diamond in
I
each
see.
category. So it's really cool. It has like an online feature too, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
Which you can upload pictures and then people can like give it like, like little medals and
Ratings
stuff.
or something like that?
Yeah.
That's
So my wife was like uploading some pictures to like our album, making it look cool and stuff. It's a really cool game. It's not multiplayer, but when I was a kid, me and my brother used to just pass the controller every level. We would just like try to get better pictures each time.
Oh, so you and your wife are doing that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we were just passing the controller back and forth, just like I did when I was a kid, and it works wonderfully. So yeah, overall the game is really impressive. I was originally only going to keep it for like a week. I might keep it for a little longer.
I was gonna ask you. So what are you gonna do now? Now that it's a rental and you guys are really invested in your albums and you seem like you're pretty attached to it, you
I'll
gonna
probably
buy?
buy it. I'll probably buy it. It'll
Yeah.
probably be a buy.
It's a buy.
I mean,
So
I
you're
wanted to
gonna-
buy it anyways.
You're gonna buy it from GameFly?
No, I'm just gonna buy it when, whenever.
I was gonna ask you because that's what my question was gonna be for you, because I know like Pokemon's your thing. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you have just bought it? Like, what made you want to get it from GameFly?
The
Or
only
it's just
reason
'cause you
the
put it
only
on
reason
there?
why I got it from GameFly was when I created my account. The only game I added to my list was Returnal, and I said, please add like 10 titles to your lists. It was like a recommendation. So what I did was I added
Just add
Pokemon.
Returnal
I added
10 times.
Pokemon Snap and all these games that don't come out yet. So I was like, I'll for sure
I
get.
see.
I'll for sure get
One of these two. Yeah.
Yeah. And the availability was higher on Returnal than Pokemon Snap. So
Weird.
I thought for sure that was going to be the first game I got because Returnal was my number 1. And then all these like games that don't come out yet are on my, Deathloop, Back for Blood, the Shin Megami Tensei, number 3. Like games that don't come out yet. So I was like, I got 10. And And I got Pokemon Snap. So I almost did buy it on Saturday when I was at Target. My mom's like, "Oh, let's get Pokemon Snap." But I was like, "Oh, let's go to Walmart and get it for $10 cheaper."
Yeah.
But I still am gonna get it.
Okay.
You know, but I may keep it a little longer than I was expecting because I'm still having a good time. But I'm definitely.
Is it a one game? It's a one game GameFly or two game?
So for the free trial, it's one video game and one movie. So
if you don't return that snap, then you're not going to
That's
get
all you got.
Returnal anytime
Correct.
soon, right? Darn, man. I really wish you had gotten Returnal.
I really wish I did
want to
too.
know what that game.
because I wanted to just play it for a week and then be like, all right, do I
Yeah.
want to buy it or not?
Right.
It was just I just want to take it for a spin.
I just
Yeah.
gotta walk into GameStop just to peep what's in there real quick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? See if somebody
But
slid one back.
I still been watching Returnal. I still want to get it, but the Twitch, it freaking took a tank. It used to be top 5, top 10. Dude, there's barely like as much people playing EverQuest as freaking playing Returnal. Like
Really?
2,000 people.
It dropped
Dude,
that low?
it
Yeah.
dropped a lot.
And cells too, and cells
Dude,
have dipped big time.
Damn, I wonder what happened.
Dude,
'Cause
I just
we
think
literally talked about this last
I
week, and
know,
it was like,
dude,
the,
it had
the
like-
shizbang. But
It had
now,
over 100,000 people at all times playing it. Now this is like 2,000 people, I think, when I checked this morning.
did people beat it already?
No, people just the
Because
luster.
there's only 6 levels, right?
I think that's part of it though, Mark. Like I think people are beating it and moving on, or like
okay.
it's not a long game. I don't think.
No.
Like if you're
It's 6
decent at
levels.
it, if you're
you
decent
can,
at
yeah,
it,
if you
it's
can
not
beat
long.
them and climb pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
if you're
then
bad,
in
you're
theory-
stuck for hours. But
Yeah.
if you're like Risk of Rain, think about it. Like, have you and I returned to that? We beat it. We got to the very end. We played some of the characters, and we kind of like. I love the game.
I love it too.
I'd fire back up and just play it for fun, wouldn't you?
I would.
But
I want to.
there's something about like once you kind of finish it that you kind of shelve it for a minute,
Yeah.
and you might come back to it later or months or in the summer. But like you kind of shelve a game once you kind of finish it. And Risk of Rain wasn't like super long. It's like what did we spend maybe 5 to 8 hours somewhere in between there with our time with it, and then you're kind of done with it. And I think Returnal is just like that. It's just a roguelike. It's not anything more than that.
I saw that there was a couple of tweets like when it was first coming out, and people were like, "Dude, this game is like you could play like at least like 5,000 hours on this game. Like, how is this game not worth $70? Dude, if you suck
Wow.
ass and you have to play this 6-level game for 5,000 hours, then yeah, sure, you got your money's worth. But there's a lot of people that it's not going to take that long.
I agree with
To
100%.
do.
And that's true for any roguelike.
Yeah.
That statement is true for any roguelike.
Right.
So
you
I
could
keep
spend
going.
hours and hours and
You
hours.
could spend
and hours on it if you want.
1,000,000 hours on Risk of Rain.
Yeah.
The game doesn't actually end. You just keep playing the biomes over and over again and trying to get a better score.
Okay.
The thing is, I can't stand that argument because that means Risk of Rain should be 70. That means Hades should be 70. That means Enter the Gungeon should be 70. Just because the game can give me thousands of hours of enjoyment doesn't mean it's therefore worth 70. Dead Cells could give me thousands of
Rogue
hours
Legacy.
of entertainment.
Yeah, that's a bad argument because what about games like Fortnite, Warzones?
That are
People play
free.
these for thousands. And what about World of Warcraft? People play these for thousands and thousands, but that doesn't increase the value. Like, how much time you can play it doesn't... How much content... If there's 5,000 hours of story, well, shit, that's a different discussion.
Right,
But
that's
if
a
you're playing the
different
same
discussion.
RNG recycled content, that doesn't count.
I did think
Absolutely.
that the gameplay and stuff was interesting because it looks like you go from like third person to like first person depending on certain
Like
scenarios.
some of the story modes
I
and
guess
stuff.
you have like dreams or something
Yeah.
like that, and then you'll perceive the game in first person.
Yeah, for like
and
the
whatnot,
dreams and stuff.
for
yeah.
certain story parts and whatnot,
Yeah.
and then you'll go
Right.
back out there and then you see it in third person. And then I was watching some gameplay and I was like, okay, it's not strictly a bullet hell. Like, you're not just like walking forward and there's just flying everywhere, but you do have like these monsters or these enemies that, you know, you'll have to come across, and if they do spot you and start shooting at you, then, you know, you see like the bullet patterns that are just coming towards you and you just gotta avoid them and whatnot.
No, like it does one things. What it does wonderfully.
Yeah.
It does those things very good. It's just my frustration with the arguments that if you get thousands of hours out of it, it's worth 70, or if it's fun to you, it's worth 70. That's not the truth, and I just feel like you would not want to live in that world. Because that means you're paying 70 for
everything.
for
All your
Hades.
enjoyment,
You're
yeah.
paying 70 for Stardew Valley. You're paying 70 for games that have no business being 70, because that's not what determines the value of a game. It's like what Mark said. If you have 1,000 hours of dialogued NPC, fleshed out, written story, right? Like, it's different writing a novel, right, is different than writing a comic, right? Like the value, that's why a novel costs $20, where a comic costs $3 or $4. There's a difference. It doesn't matter if I read the comic 400 times and I got hundreds of hours of reading on the comic, or I had a lot of fun and I really loved it. That's not what determines the value of something. It's the amount of man-hour work, money, and everything dumped into it that determines what it should be worth.
They're trying to, the author is trying to recoup what they got back on.
Absolutely, the time they spent on it. It could have took them years to write that book.
And then to make some profit.
Right, they need to make a lot more than what it would take to write a comic.
And
I'm just using the comic as an example, but
and they're deeming it all like what they feel it's worth. You know what I mean? And if people don't want to buy it at what they think it's worth, it will eventually get to what people think it's worth. Right. Because if it sits on the shelves, it's gonna go down. You know that it's that's inevitable. Like if it's not selling, it will go down lower.
Even
and
a
lower
novel
until
will.
It starts to sell.
Even a novel that doesn't sell, right, is gonna go down to $1 at the dollar store.
Right.
I found hardcovers right at the dollar store for.
I mean, shit, it'll eventually get to Kindle for free.
Get to Kindle for free. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just saying the initial get up.
Right.
Right, and like there's comics that are worth hundreds of dollars that people pay hundreds of dollars for. My point is just the initial coming out of a price on these certain things are set based on the time, effort, man hours, and money dumped into creating them.
So I wonder about how long until we see Returnal get like a price drop.
You mentioned it last time, and you were.
I said that would be the determination.
I was the more. I was the one who was a little more
game,
skeptical on that, but it might be closer to what you're envisioning, like within a month. It might be soon. I don't know.
If
I just
people
know
are
it's
getting
sold
tired
out.
of it, and it's starting to, like I said, we got to check GameStop and see what they're offering.
I've been checking
for Returnal.
GameStop every few days.
If they're still
70.
offering like $30-$40 for Returnal, if you want to trade it in, then
they haven't put up a used option to buy it on GameStop.com. Like, so you can't even buy it used yet. I don't know if they wait a week.
There's got to be somebody
before
that
they do that,
in the GameStop
which
already.
they probably do. They probably have some kind of agreement, right, with these companies that we wait a couple weeks before we.
Maybe they have to quarantine their trade-ins for 2 weeks.
Quarantine the trade-ins for 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know what it is. That's true.
So yeah,
maybe that is it.
Maybe that is it. But I just looked it up real quick. There's 5,000 people playing Returnal right this very minute, and something like Warzone, free 99. 500,000 people are streaming that. Yeah. So that was. I knew, honestly, I kind of knew this was going to happen.
Warzone's on like more than. Was that just for like PS5 consoles, or that's like
all consoles? That's across all.
Yeah, it's talking on Twitch.
It's like on everything.
Yeah,
okay.
It's across all things.
You know, but yeah. So I knew this was going to happen. You know, this game, I would say in a month, the secondary or whatever third market, we'll be able to find it. And hey, Gamefly, send me the freaking Returnal, please.
I know. I want to see what it's about. I've made a decision though. Like after this week, like I've heard people talking about it, watched more of it. I even heard Colin Moriarty's take on it. He wasn't happy with it at all. I'm determined.
He didn't like Returnal?
He wasn't happy with it. He liked some things about it, but he didn't like other things about it. He really didn't like that when you die, everything's lost.
That's some bull. And you can't pause it? Come on.
And you can't pause it. He hated that.
Bull,
he made a big deal about that. Because you can't pause it. Because the reason why
it's not online
is it is online.
It is online?
Yeah. And you still have to pause it. The reason why it's crazy, it's a little thing that was going around actually as a topic. We could just kind of like slide it in. But basically, they want you to rest the PS5. But the problem is the PlayStation system does auto updates. It's like built into the core of the system. So, and if they're always updating it, your thing gets shut off. So people were coming back to their systems, games shut down because it updated and they lost their run. Yep. Right. And like there were some other things too, like your power goes out or like just something happens and it shuts off, your run is done. Right. And it's like that is unacceptable. Like Colin was like, that's unacceptable. Like if you're going to force people to not save it, then you have to make sure it's perfect. That you have to make sure sleep mode
There's not even
works.
no autosave?
There's not an autosave. They have no cloud save either.
So where do you actually save the game at?
You can't.
There is
After
no
a run?
saving. There's no saving at all.
There's no like. There's nothing.
The only way you could stop playing is pause it and walk away, like we used to do when we were kids, or you.
Well, you said there's no pause, right?
There's a pause. You could
save.
pause. There's no save. You could pause. You could press like the start screen.
How do you know your progress then? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, how do you like leave it, go to a different game, and then come back?
You don't.
You just
So this
die.
is on some like old school
Yes,
arcade shit. Like I
yes.
gotta go into an arcade,
Yes.
put my
Yes.
25 cents in, and then play the
Yes.
game until I
The
die.
beginning.
100%. And I told you this from the start.
Wow.
That's what House Marquee does.
$70.
They're an arcade gaming studio, man.
$70 to
$70
never be able to
to
put the
save.
controller down.
Yep.
Wow.
Because they don't want people to
Beat her.
pseudo save or pseudo turn it into a campaign, right? Like, let's say, for
Partially
instance,
save
I'm
and then come back and-
playing, I save it, I quickly go to my save file and upload it to the cloud, and then I play and
Cut
I
the cloud
die.
off, yeah.
I play
Just
and I
reload it.
die.
Doot.
I just go to my cloud, upload that game to my system, and relaunch that save file and start where I left off. They call that
Yo.
scum saving. I'm like, but who cares? Let people do that if they want to do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you
their
supposed-
game
paid
to
70
enjoy.
bucks.
I know,
You
but
paid $70. You would hope
I
you'd
know
be able
you
to
would
do
think.
that.
I don't.
Jesus.
As long
That
as they're
doesn't
not
even-
like cheating.
That doesn't even cross my mind really to think about doing that. But
Nah.
like, if someone does, who cares? Like, let them. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But supposedly they're such arcade purists. Like House Mark is such arcade purists that they want you to play the game as they want it
From start
intended
to
to be
finish.
played.
One
That's how it
sitting.
was intended to be played.
Wow.
Yeah,
So,
3-hour run, dude.
I
It's
thought
down
there
for
was-
3 hours, 3 or 4 hours.
Because I thought that there were certain items that you could find in there that would make it so that they're available on your next run, like if you die. But that's literally only during that play time.
I'm almost positive that maybe you can find it now, but you nothing you did
Carries over.
carries over. Not
Wow.
anything. So like for instance, Dead Cells,
Yeah.
right? Your money can carry over, right?
Right.
Your certain things can carry over, right? Oh, now I
You
have
get like a specific weapon. That weapon
Right.
is available as like a choice option for things that will appear in the world as
right,
you go through.
or because that's the point. You get money, you spend it on little upgrades. Like so, the next run, I get a sword that I found in the game, not the starter sword.
Yeah.
Like I
Right,
paid for
right,
that
right.
with my gold on the previous run.
Yeah.
And it's like, or my cells on the previous run. Like something carries, right? Like even with Hades, all the coins, like all the crystals and stuff carry. And then I spend it. It's so much fun, right? Like, okay, you feel bad that you died, but you're okay with it because you get to go spend what you got from this previous
Yeah.
run. And then when you spend it, you can't wait to get back in there because now you want to know what
You wanna use
improvements you
that
made.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, you want to use that stuff you just
Right.
purchased. Returnal
A
has none
longer,
of those features.
a longer jetpack fuel or something like that, or a double jump or something.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
damn.
To me, that's like the best thing of a roguelike. That's like the one more game. Oh, one more game. Let me
That's
get
the one more
game,
thing that
game.
fuels you.
Because it
yeah.
keeps you going. But yeah, I was kind of shocked on the progression system of Returnal. It was so like mediocre. There's a lot of cool things that they could have done, but it was very like vanilla. You know, just keep playing the game arcade style.
It's arcade. That's
So-
the key. That's the word. It's an arcade game.
yeah.
People just need to understand that. You could find that in the arcade, and that's what it would be. And you put your
It would be
quarter
dope,
in,
too.
and you.
I
you
wonder
could
if
stay there for
somebody's
3
made a
hours.
box
That
for
would
it.
be dope.
That would be awesome.
I wonder if somebody's made a box for it. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
I would go
dude.
to the arcade to play that.
Oh, 25
Right?
cents.
Yeah, that would be a
amazing.
great
25 cents,
arcade
I would
game.
dump coins into
I'd
that.
put
But at
bucks in
home,
it.
it's not what you want at home. That's what's so funny.
Yeah. At home, you can go get an arcade little stick at Walmart for $20 that has like 100 games in it. You know.
Exactly. Exactly.
arcade
if I
games
want to
are
play
cheap.
arcade games, then I
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing Colin was saying that it's a little too hard for like an arcade game. Like arcade games, they're always easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah.
Like that's the like the formula
Yeah.
for an arcade game, right?
Yeah.
When you hop on, a little kid can just play and have fun
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
Pac-Man, right? But the pro is going to get to the end and get the high score.
Yeah.
That's what Housemarque's always done. Resogun was like that, super easy. You're just like up and down
Yeah.
shooting and you're having fun. But the person who's really good at it is going to like blow you away. This game is not like that. You're either there. It's not easy to start with. Like it's hard.
Yeah.
Like it starts hard, right? And then there's a level between like you can play it decent and you're good. So that there's that ceiling to get good at it, like an arcade game has. But that entry level isn't there,
Yeah.
and so that's another thing that bugged him a lot.
So, anything else you play?
Yeah. So I fired up World of Warcraft again too. I mean, we could talk about this
I
later.
know.
But,
Talk about that a little
but
bit.
yeah, so I fired it up just a little bit, playing with a couple people I know.
I will
Just
ask you
messing
some
around.
questions about that.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So Returnal coming soon. You know,
I know, I
I'm
really
gonna
wanna
keep
hear it.
Pokemon Snap for one more week, or I'm gonna ask my wife, like, is this something we're gonna keep playing together? I'll just go,
Just go
buy it,
buy it,
and I'm gonna
dude.
return it because if for sure it, you know, me taking it for a spin, it made me want to buy it. Like, okay, perfect. This
Yeah.
is not a
You
waste.
probably should just go and buy it.
You
right?
gotta go
I'm
buy
gonna
that,
go
man.
buy it,
That sounds
but-
like your wife really likes
but
And
it.
then get that
Returnal?
thing back so you can get Returnal.
But yeah, Returnal, that's gonna be the test, you know. And if I have it for a while, I'll let you guys borrow it. You know what I mean? Take it for a spin.
Absolutely, yeah. Actually, I might want to let my
Should
wife
check it
try
out.
that game out. She
Oh,
might
yeah?
actually enjoy that. She has a Switch.
Oh, okay.
She usually just
Po-
plays Mario and
Pokemon
stuff on
Snap.
it. But Pokemon Snap,
Pokemon Snap?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, I was gonna say the most I'll pay for Returnal is what I paid for Hades. That's how I feel about it.
25
I paid
bucks?
$25. That's what I'll pay for
That's fair.
Returnal.
Okay.
So, anyways, I played Outriders
Okay.
and I played Resident Evil 7 some more.
Nice.
So I got some things to say about Resident Evil 7. And Outriders, I switched up my build.
Did you?
So I'm
So
not
you went
doing
Blight
like the
Around
turrets
now?
and stuff. Yeah, I went Blight Around to try it
Okay.
out. Because I just was having the hardest time, man, like in that game. I couldn't
yeah?
even pass like a tier 4 expedition
Oh.
on my own. Have you done the expeditions yet?
I attempted, but like, dude, they're pretty tough.
Yeah, I couldn't even do a tier 4 one on my own.
Mm.
And so I was like, this is just getting, I can't progress.
I think I only have like tier 3 or tier 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
I
pretty
just
tough.
couldn't progress for the life of me. And so like I was looking at some of the builds and
Go ahead.
yeah, and and I had a lot of the stuff for it. Like I had the mods, necessary mods and stuff for a Blight Arounds build. I had like all the parts I needed.
Right.
And so I just decided to like slap it together and see how it worked.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, man,
Nice.
dude,
Now you see why everybody was
I'm
running
melting
it.
people. And so I just started running through the expeditions and I got to tier 11. And the thing is, once you get to like, I think tier 8 or 9, you catch up to world tier 15 gear level 42. And so once you get to like tier 9 in expeditions, you can go to level 43 on your gear. Because world tier 15 is level 42 gear.
Yeah.
You can go to level 43 on your gear, but now you need the little expedition pod yellow currency.
Uh-huh.
You were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that
yeah,
currency.
yeah.
You need that to level your gear up too. So not only do you
Oh.
need the titanium, but you need the pod
Damn.
currency too,
Grind
man.
Central.
And so I was like, dang it. And like I
So are
can't
you
level
doing
my
this stuff
gear
solo?
up. I was doing all solo.
So
Yeah.
if me and Mark joined you, then it'd probably be a lot tougher because there's a lot of guys.
It would be a
there,
lot
but-
tougher. It might be easier because I was dying. Like I was noticing what people are talking about, like insta dying.
Oh yeah,
It was
that
so
was a glitch.
weird. There's something going on. It's in the game
That
right
was
now.
error.
It's
Yeah.
not fixed yet.
Right.
But like I would be like kicking butt, like because I'm like melting things, dude.
They said it's a
like
problem with
half a
damage
second
mitigation.
of shooting, like a half a second, and the guys are like dying.
Mhm.
But like if anyone hits on me, dude, like I can like die in like a shot or two.
Yeah.
Like there's something wrong. I
They
noticed
said
there's
it's
something
an
wrong.
issue with damage mitigation, where it's like it's not doing proper damage mitigation on your items. So they said that sometimes there's been a fix that if you take all of it off and then put it all back on,
Right.
it resets it.
I heard
So,
about that.
Maybe you
I
try
hadn't
that.
been doing that, but so that was really infuriating me because I got to tier 11 and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bump it down to tier 10 and just farm because you get quite a bit of the yellow pod points and stuff and like gear from level 10, tier 10.
Okay.
And I just wanted to get a whole bunch of the yellow pod points so I had enough to upgrade my gear as I progressed through more of the tiers.
Right.
But the level I like the most, the Archways of something, I don't know the name of it, Archways, is like a really fast one. And like it has like almost a 16-minute timer. And I can blow through it in like 8 minutes. So
Nice.
like it's very low key. I know that I'll be able to finish it on gold. So I like to do that one. So what you do is you go to the table and you check to see if it's there.
Yeah.
If it isn't, you just fast travel to the next spot behind
Oh,
you.
keep checking.
Oh,
it
and then check the
resets. I don't know
table
if you
again.
know that.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, and then you just keep going back and
You
see
have to
what it
keep
resets.
looking to see if it pops up.
Right, and
Yeah.
it pops up after a few fast travels. It's pretty quick.
Okay.
Because it's like a third of them show, then a third of them show, then a third of them show.
And you can actually gain world tiers doing those, right?
No, I don't know. Only expedition tiers.
Oh, okay. So
You
I
have
would
to do
still have to
world
do the
stuff,
regular grind
right,
in
to
order
get to
get
world
my world
15.
tiers up
Which you want to do that so you can at least get to level 42, right?
with the gear.
With the gear, and then you'll be able to go through like the first few tiers on your own without any like really support.
Right.
So I was having an easier time with the human worlds than the monster worlds with that whole armor thing. I felt like when I went through like the chem plant, it was just it's human enemies. I wasn't getting like insta killed in that one for some reason.
Right.
Where if I went to the Archways one, which is all the aliens, I was
Monsters, yeah,
getting
they were
insta
tearing
killed
you
in
up.
the third zone for some reason. I would just die. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then like occasionally I would like sneak through and finish it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't worth it if it's taking me 3 8-minute runs. I might as well just do like one of the other ones that I know I can do in 10 minutes.
Long, but you can
right?
still
It's
do
a little
it,
bit longer, but I know I can do it, and I'm not going to insta die. Because it's like it's turning my 8-minute run into 24-minute runs, you know? And so it's like, this isn't working. So I kind of got a little bit discouraged from that whole glitch thing. So I kind of like wanted to play with somebody.
Yeah.
So like I was seeing if you're going to log on. So I haven't really played Outriders since I hit tier 11.
Yeah.
On
I'll probably try to
gold.
get on tonight if you try and get on.
But I'll probably be up late tonight because it's Saturday night. But so maybe we can try, or I can help you at least grind your world tiers up or whatever, and that'll be fun. But then so I moved on to Resident Evil 7 and I restarted it on
nice.
easy. So I went through all that first hour again, and dude, it's for me like perfect at easy.
A lot more enjoyable.
It's just it makes sense too. Like, dude, that first chick you fight. You know, your wife or whatever that you're going to save, when she breaks through the glass and you gotta like shoot her in the head. On normal, it's like
you have to unload a couple shots.
Come on, dude, die already. On this one, it's like 4 or 5 in the head. It's like, okay, that's a lot, but that makes sense. That's like a realistic amount. That's easy mode. So it's like I see you, I hit you, you know, then I hit you, then maybe like 2 more times. And like you're about to die and hit you one more time and it's over. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Where the other one, I'm like chasing kiting her around, you know, like the room. And it takes like 2 to 3 times more shots than that. Yeah. It's like ridiculous. And you're missing sometimes because, you know, you're trying to aim.
You're running and trying to aim, yeah.
And then I fought the dude in the garage again. And that was quite a bit easier as well. And so basically I got to the point in the game where I did the chainsaw fight. You remember that? I did the chainsaw fight. I got the dog head. So I'm moving on. But what's crazy about that game, which is what I was going to talk to you about, did you play it on easy or normal? Did you play it on, do you remember? Can you recall?
How many shots does it take for those like lurker dudes for you to kill them?
3 in the head. 3 headshots.
Is that on easy or normal?
Easy.
Maybe easy then.
I never encountered them on normal.
You didn't?
Because I never got that far.
Oh, okay.
So in my easy playthrough, I did get to the lurkers because I got to the chainsaw guy. There's these creatures, man, that like just
they're creepy,
fall out of the blubber of the wall. There's like gunk all over the walls in certain areas.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a creature would just like peel out of the wall and fall on the ground.
Yeah.
And like he'll start off as like a tall man, but he'll chase you on like all fours like a crab.
Yeah.
But I just start popping them the moment I see him like in the head.
Yeah.
I was going through my bullets then, dude.
Yeah.
I was going through my rounds.
Dude,
man.
I'm trying to remember. Is there a hard? Because I definitely didn't play.
There's only a easy and normal, unless hard opens up after you beat it on normal. I don't know.
I want to say maybe I played it on easy then.
Okay,
if it was
that's
only
like
easy
perfect.
and normal, I think I put it because I don't remember things being bullet sponges per se. But I was super conservative with all my ammo. I would always like knife or melee.
Same.
Things, like
yeah, the knife seemed to be quite a bit easier. Like, cause I wanted to be conservative on my bullets, or like I would aim for the head, and even if I was about to take a shot, I didn't care. I take a hit. I want the headshot because if you miss, dude, like it hurts. One bullet hurts, man. It's
they get shanked just to get a headshot.
Just to get a headshot. Got him, dude. His head burst. But I was gonna ask you because I played it through on normal first, and I was fighting everything still, legitimately. And so I went online because I wanted to watch a walkthrough because I wanted to see like had I missed anything up at least to I don't want to see the game, but at least up into where I wanted to know if had I missed any secrets or something.
Right.
And there were a couple things that I noticed that I missed that I want to kind of go back and get now. But dude, the way he was playing was night and day different from me. He fought nothing.
I know.
He ran away from everything and just kited everything and hid.
For some reason, when I would watch people do like speed runs on Twitch and stuff, they would fight nothing. They would beat the whole game like in under 2 hours, but they would play the game like so cheesy. I'm like, how's it even
I'm not
fun?
kidding,
but yeah,
bro.
Something comes, you run, and hide, and
you don't have to fight anything. I didn't even know because things just like lose sense of where you are. Like when you run to the safe room, if
I
you
didn't
can
know
just
either.
run back to your safe room,
I know it's a safe room like trick.
It's legit.
I was gonna tell you that.
Yeah,
it's like a safe room cheese.
You just go in the safe room.
Wait, so you're not scripted to have to fight these things?
Dude, I have to tell you this. Okay, yeah. So this is what they do. They're walking down a hallway. A little wall creature pops out. They turn around and run back to the safe room.
He's like, oh shit, not today.
Dude, that instantly despawns and like it like despawns it.
Yeah.
It disappears.
So it's the trigger. The action has already been triggered for it to happen, and then when you walk back through there, it just doesn't happen again.
Yeah, like goes back to the wall, and then like he goes back, and sometimes it won't pop out, and he'll walk through, right? Or he'll go down into like the attic, the containment room or whatever. Or operation room level, and the dudes are all over in there. Like, there are lots of wall dudes down there.
Yeah.
And he just would kite them around and then run back up the stairs into the safe room.
Yeah.
Constantly. And I'm like, my first thought was like, come on, man, that's fun?
I didn't.
How is that fun?
I never did that. I just saw people do that when I looked online. But that's not fun to me.
That's
like
fun.
that.
I'm like,
so
are you kidding
funny.
me? Because they played it so different than me.
Yeah.
Like, so for instance, when you go upstairs, so right when you get to the main door, you find that bull after you fight the guy with the car. The main bull opens the main hall, and you're exploring, and you go upstairs, and you walk through a zone, and then you come across the door, you open, and it's a bathroom. There's stuff in there for you to collect. And then when you go back to leave the bathroom, the dude's there again, and he like pushes you back. And so I kited him around like the bathtub and the bathroom, and I popped him and I killed him. The dude I was watching kited him around and ran out, and for the rest of the game ignores him.
Damn.
The dude just kites around, dude. The guy that you kill, that I killed, he just kites around the house looking for you. And so all he's doing, man, is like creeping around edges of the room to see where the guy's at. He'll go the other way, or he'll go back downstairs. Yeah, and
just constantly avoiding the dude.
Just constantly for like the rest of the game. It's so weird, bro.
Yo, what's crazy
It's
is
the
the fact
weirdest
that they
way.
would allow you to be able to play the game like that, because you would think that these interactions would be story scripted and that you cannot pass or progress for the story unless you kill these enemies.
Dude, I kind of thought
that's how it's always been.
I feel like, because I know it's like a trigger, like a muscle memory. Of course, this is a clear, like you said,
I'm gonna walk
story
through here,
sequence.
This shit gonna come out the window,
and I'm gonna
again.
kill it.
I'm gonna have to fight it.
Why else do I have a gun, dude?
Yeah.
This guy's walking around with like 40 rounds in his mag, and he never pulls the trigger once. I'm like,
wow.
What are you?
So
What's
it's
the
a no
point?
kill run, a no kill run the whole time. Does he at least have to kill his wife?
It wasn't even called a no kill run.
You have to kill the wife.
I think you have to kill the wife, and you have to kill
What
the
if you
boss.
can play the game without killing
But
your
dude-
wife?
You have to kill the
She's
boss.
always like following you.
But dude, even in the car fight, he kind of like didn't do it right, or the way I would think that you're supposed to do it. He got in the car. Did you know that? Dude, he would kite the dude around until like he got to like this bucket, and he opened up and the car keys were in there. The monster's coming at him. So he runs away again around the freaking shelving, and the monster's chasing him. And he runs to the car, unlocks it, gets in it, and he starts to ram the guy with the car. He did the car, not the monster. Because when I fought it, the monster got in the car.
Yeah,
Once
same
I
here.
got like him down low enough with
Yeah.
my fighting, it triggers like the next phase 2 of the
Yeah,
fight, and he gets into the car and he starts chasing me. It's like a trip fight. It's really cool. But in his game, he gets in the car and starts
starts chasing the
ramming
dude
and starts
down.
ramming the boss with the car. I'm like, dude, I
I
would
didn't
have
know you
never
could do that.
thought that.
That would be a nice way to do the boss.
I never crossed my mind. I'm using my gun,
Yeah.
and the guy never ever freaking fires his gun, dude.
Yeah, because for me,
Ultimate
those
survival,
monsters creep me out, so I take them out just so I could explore.
Me
stuff.
too. I'm the
I
same
wanna
way,
look
Mark.
For every little
I'm the
area,
same
click
way,
all
dude.
the items. Make my little.
There's always something to
potions and
search
stuff.
for and freaking.
Make my
and-
little
and
medicines.
Resident
I
Evil.
try to collect everything, so I kill everything. You know what I mean? I do kite them like in a hallway sometimes, so I can like line them up, and if I miss shots,
Sure.
I hit somebody else. Or I like to get them in the hallway because it's easier to like just stab them in the head. And sometimes they stagger a little bit, so I could just like keep hitting them. But I never thought about just kiting them until I saw the speedrunners, and I'm like, oh, like things are actually not as like scary as I might think, because you can just run past everything. Like Demon Souls, you can kind of do that too in Dark Souls to some extent if you know
They're
the
gonna
path.
chase you for a good minute.
If you know the path, you could just speed run through the. But this is like you could just run to the safe room and then boop, you're safe.
Like, I don't know how. That's why I was asking you if you played on normal, because I wasn't sure if that's like
Yeah.
just the way you play normal. Because that's what it seemed like this guy was doing.
Yeah, I want to say I probably played easy.
But easy just feels like a more traditional, I guess, Dark Souls game in the sense that you can kill it. You can kill things.
Yeah.
Like in Dark Souls, like, yeah, monsters are strong, but a few well placed swipes and you
Oh,
take
for
them
sure,
out.
for sure.
And like you're supposed to do that. This is like equivalent now to like Dark Souls. Like I swear, like Resident Evil's easy mode is like Dark Souls normal, because even on easy it's still pretty tough. Like
Yeah.
I was running
yeah.
low on ammo. Like when I was in that zone and I was killing those dark creatures, like I was getting really low on ammo.
Because that stuff's scarce, dude. The
Yeah,
ammo's
it's really
as heck,
scarce,
dude.
and I felt like if I lost my ammo, I'm gonna be really susceptible here.
Yeah.
So I still felt tense and a little on edge. I didn't feel invincible on easy. I didn't feel like, oh, this is a joke now.
Yeah.
Like I still had to really conserve my bullets, and it seemed like even on easy there was just enough ammunition to kind of like get through the zone. So, but it's really cool. Like I'm looking forward to going back in it. It's still like eerie, and dark and
Scary,
cringy
dude.
and like creepy. To me, more so than Dark Souls feels, which is why it's just weird. But I still see the comparison that you make, but it's still weird for me to think like this because it doesn't feel like it's the horror aspect of like, things are gonna pop out at you on screen and stuff doesn't happen in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Right. So like it's a little bit more under your control than this one is. Like you just feel like something's gonna happen, and of course all the time it does. Little jump scares happen. And so it's a little bit more on edge than I would like, but it's cool enough and interesting enough that I'm gonna keep playing it. I think.
Nice.
Okay.
But, that's what I've played, man.
Yeah. For me, the only thing that I played was I played some more. The freaking zombie game.
Oh, Zombie Army
The
4?
free one.
No. The
Cold War?
Days Gone.
Oh,
I don't
Days
know
Gone.
why
Okay,
that
okay.
just had a brain fart, but yeah. So I played some more Days Gone. I was trying to get through. I realized that now there's not one specific location where you can actually upgrade your bike. You just find more camps,
Oh.
and then when you get to like the fourth or the fifth camp you find, you can upgrade your bike and you can upgrade it higher.
Oh.
So this whole theory of like waiting until your bike is fixed and then you ride out.
It's toast, huh?
It's not.
That's
I
a
don't know
disconnect
if
in the
it's it.
story then.
Because there's like a lot of stuff you can do to your bike. If there's more camps and there's higher tiers, then it's a while before you get your bike fixed or whatever in tip-top condition.
I'm not crazy, right?
So-
That was the impression I got, that I was supposed to go get some stuff to get my old bike back.
Well,
That's what it felt
at
like.
first it was supposed to be like you get your bike back and then you fix your bike and then you'd be good. But
Right.
when you get to a certain point, we're really early in the story, you find out your bike's been dismantled. They thought your bike was shit. So you get the bike that you get and you ride on is literally like some bike that they put together with pieces of your bike as well. So you have to upgrade that bike
Weird.
unless there's some other bike that you have to get later, which would really suck because you upgraded this bike so much and then here's a new bike. You know what I mean?
So how's the game aged, man? You still loving it or what?
Yeah, I still enjoy playing it. The freakers that are out there, they come in troves. Like they're tough. There are ways to avoid them, and they do go on about their business if you can avoid being spotted. Sometimes you'll be in a certain area, and then you'll just see like a high volume of them. And then if you just hide and wait out for like a few, like a minute or so or whatever, they'll continue to walk on through if they didn't spot you. But there's certain things that you got to do, like, getting rid of the nests and stuff like that. Like, you want to do that stuff just so that you can fast travel through points quicker,
Right.
to make your story expedited or whatever. The story is cool because you're still trying to figure out what's going on, like how things started, but you're still trying to find your girl or whatever.
Right.
And so you're going through all those things, and then you're still dealing with your buddy who's sick, and then and you're dealing with all of the other people and the issues that they have, the camps that are there, and you kind of find out why him and his friend Boozer consider themselves drifters. Like, they do not want to commit to a camp, like,
I see.
period.
But you
You see why, because of the way these camps are getting run and stuff like that. So it's still fun. But I did take a break from Days Gone to try out Stranded Deep.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to check it out because
I know, I was
tried
close to
and-
firing up too, man.
Yeah, so I downloaded it.
Because I went to that
quick.
PS Plus to download it, and I saw
Right.
the picture, and I was like, I kind of want to jump in there, but I didn't.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I fired it up, and I started the first play, and I was like, damn, it gives you like a little bit of things to do, but like you start off in the water, and then you just have to row your little
the
raft
island.
to an island, And then from there, it's just about surviving on that. But it's such a small island. And it's not just one island. There's plenty of them out there. So I guess if you stocked up, and maybe it's something you have to do, but you'd probably stock up enough food and things like that on the island, take them to your raft, throw them all in there, and then just like cart your way, paddle your way, which is really slow, but paddle your way to like another island that you could possibly see and see what you can do over there. But like when you do the tutorial, if you possibly do stuff wrong or you're busy doing other things and you waste some of the resources that you have on the island, it takes a while for things to come back and you may die before the resources come back on the island, like certain trees and stuff like that. Like you tear up plants and then once the plants are gone, they're gone. You know what I mean? For like a while. And then they might come back. So it seems like you have to kind of like know exactly what to do and follow the specific steps to be able to get what you need, unless maybe just staying on that first island isn't it. Maybe you have to move.
It sounds like you have to island hop.
I played to a certain extent on the first one, and I was like, damn, I used up like all the resources. Like, how am I supposed to build like half the crap they want me to build, because I have to build so much. Like I have to build this to get this, I have to build this to get that, and then I have to put all those together to get this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of makeshifting. You MacGyvering the hell out of that island.
And there's not enough resources to do it.
Yeah, so I stopped that, and then I started a new one, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it specifically exactly what these things say, the little quest stuff says, and then once you get to that, there's nothing else. You're just out there. So, and the quest isn't even, it's like literally make a shelter, make a fire camp, a fire pit or whatever, and cook some meat. After that, there's nothing else after that. So you just have to figure out, okay, what do I do right now to stay going,
Just survive.
I created like some type of a water gathering thing, and I was able to gather like 5 things of water. After that, it stopped acquiring water. So I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, how am I supposed to survive, So, but it's tough to build another one because you need the resources, and it's really tough to get like double the resources again, you know what I mean?
Just for 5 things of water.
Yeah, so, and they're like such small sips or whatever that you're going to be thirsty again later. So, I just kind of felt like it seems like it's it's kind of cool, but it seems like it's a bit more
hardcore.
Like hardcore survivalist, I was playing on normal. It's either normal or hard. There's no easy. So it's either normal or hard. I checked, but it's just normal or hard. So it's just kind of like, damn. And then you can do permadeath or you cannot. I decided to go permadeath, to see how it was.
Put that pressure on.
But honestly, all it made me want to do is just like go and download Grounded on my Xbox and go play Grounded, because Grounded was more of a solid game. You know what I mean? There was a lot. You're in the backyard, so it's a bigger area. Resources are everywhere. You just have to survive. You know what I mean? So,
but it's a more reasonable level of
enjoyable.
Survival too.
Yeah.
You don't need as much water, as much food as frequently, as many resources, and there's lots of resources for you to collect.
But the water's there. Like, I mean, unless there's like there was no special puddle that I could drink from in the center of the island.
You had to get the salt water and treat it, right?
Well, no, you have to create that thing to like get the dew to like fall down from the sky.
Because you can't drink the ocean water. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So that's all you get. But in Grounded, there's dewdrops all over the place. There's soda and shit. You know what I mean?
There's a lake.
Yeah, and you can build things. You can build things quicker and easier because there is so many resources.
It's more accessible.
Yeah. So, I guess it's not as hardcore. So I'm not looking. I like survival games, but I don't want a hardcore game. Right. So I want to be able to enjoy it and and have like a fun experience with it. So
see, Don't Starve felt a little hardcore to me at first.
Don't Starve is kind of hard.
It was hard
at first. Super confusing.
I was having a hard time in that game.
There's just certain things that you come across and it's just, how the hell am I supposed to beat this? Like,
you feel like you hit a wall sometimes. Like, I don't know where to go, and all of a sudden you will die. Something kills you at night or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, dang. So I'm wondering if like this game might be more that if you just put up with it more, you'll figure it out, and then like eventually it'll get easier. Because Don't Starve felt that way. Because Grounded felt like instantly accessible. Which I agree. I think games should be that way because you want your games ultimately to be fun. You don't want them to be it has to be really great in another way if it's not going to be fun.
Stressful is what it
Yeah,
feels
it
like.
has to be great in some other way.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil, the intrigue or the story. It may not be super fun having to kill these guys, and like it's a hassle. It's not fun running back to the room, but it's worth it because the story is so interesting and what you're learning is worth it.
Yeah.
So, but for the most part, you want your game to be fun, and I think Grounded does that much better. It sounds like than
Yeah,
the
Ground
Stranded
doesn't
does.
really have a story, but it's the
It's just
gameplay
fun,
is fun
yeah.
out there. The building and
Yeah.
all the stuff that you can build, is fun, and you can do it. You know what I mean? It's not like a stretch. Like I gotta wait. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna survive 3 days for this foliage to come back. You know what I mean? So I can do it. There's plenty of foliage out there.
That's
so
crazy, man.
It's just like,
how
damn.
am I going to
So,
survive 3 days?
I'm probably not gonna play Stranded Deep again.
That's too bad.
Like I said,
Did
it
you
made me
download
want to
Breakfast?
play Grounded, huh?
Did you download Wreckfest by
I
chance?
have not, because I used my space or whatever to
Gotcha.
download. I didn't want to put too much stuff on there, so
Gotcha.
I downloaded Stranded Deep. So I'll probably dump Stranded Deep and then probably try Wreckfest to see if it's in.
I
here or how
downloaded it. I
like
didn't play it yet, but did you download it? Yet?
I have added it to my library. I haven't
Okay,
actually put it on my.
We should play it because
Hard
it's up
drive
to
yet.
24 players online. And I was watching so many videos, and it's like one of those games. Like if you just want to mess around, like
Yeah.
don't want to take it serious, you just want to laugh, have a couple good laughs and just mess around.
That's what seems like.
That's cool.
Like Pokemon Snap is like too. You
Yeah.
just chill,
Just
relax, enjoy
take
it.
pictures.
Which you need games like that, man.
Yeah.
Is there any aggression in Pokemon Snap? Like, are the Pokemon like aggressive at all?
Mm-mm.
No, because that would be cool if you
I'm
saw like
aggressive.
a Machop like tear another Pokemon in half, like with his 4 arms.
Nah.
Bloody massacre, like
Yeah,
picture
bloody-
or something. Like, I don't
Bloody
know.
Not really.
massacre.
Yeah. Not really. You get a couple items
That's
like an
funny,
apple. You
dude.
could throw an apple. So
Yeah.
sometimes a Pokemon throw an apple at them,
Yeah.
and then they'll like be dazed for like a split second. They'll be like a little circle, and sometimes they'll wake up or most of them run away.
This is fun
Or like
as
a scissor
kid,
just
man.
like aggressively approaching you and he's snapping pictures.
Yeah, I haven't
Jurassic Park
experienced.
style, right?
Yeah.
I saw a pincer pop out of the ground. He like pop out of the ground, and that was kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pokemon Snap jump scare.
Yeah.
It's
But
jumps
yeah,
out of
so,
the ground.
that would be funny.
Yeah.
yeah, so that's all I really played or whatnot. But let's go ahead and give you guys some quick shots. The first one we have is Microsoft reviewing TLU 2. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it leaked.
Yeah. So I think Cernite was gonna read us
Yeah.
from the official document, right?
Yeah, this is from like
The official
This
but
was from
unofficial.
some lawsuit, right? That's like was between Apple and Epic or something along these lines. This stuff leaked, and surprise, these companies review games from other platforms internally.
You gotta know your
What is
competition.
the
Yeah.
purpose
Gotta
of
know
that,
your
though?
enemy, man.
So they
I think it
review it
makes
just
sense,
to-
but I don't think we really thought that they did.
Well, I mean, I thought that they play the competition and whatnot, but I didn't think they would write a review about
They
it.
wrote up a whole review. It's a whole write up, dude, like a legitimate review write up
Yeah.
just for the company.
So did it have some praise in it for the actual game, or was it just?
Yeah, so I wanted to read some of this for you. So it was this write up was written by like two of their completed by both Mike and John. So that's all. So they go by first names.
Hey,
right? 'Cause
Mike.
this
Hey,
is-
John.
This is totally internal, but basically they were gushing over it for the most part.
Dang.
They had a couple things they didn't like. They knocked Last of Us for their gunplay. They said for some reason Naughty Dog still can't seem to make any good gunplay.
I could see that
And
I thought that their gunplay
because
was pretty good.
I didn't like the gunplay in
never had a
Uncharted.
problem
I
with
hated the gunplay, but that was just me. I thought it was a little.
yeah, but how is really any different than GTA's gunplay?
That one's not that good either.
But we all love those. We all love GTA.
I mean, it's still fun, don't
right?
get me wrong.
Yeah,
like-
it's not the
if you're
basis
trying to
of the
compare it
game.
to like
Right,
Call of Duty or
so I'm not
something,
looking for that.
if you're comparing it to like a shooter, it always.
I
fails
think
in
that's why it was a
comparison.
little unfair when they said that because it's not Call of Duty.
Right.
It's not Halo. And I think that's like a little jab, an internal
Yeah.
jab, because we're so great at Halo, right? Like, look at our shooters are really top notch, is what I'm thinking.
Probably.
434.
Yeah.
They had to say something bad about it.
Is
Yeah,
it 434
and
or
so-
343?
343.
343.
Yeah, they got help from some other game company to be able to finish.
Right.
Their
It's
game.
not really
Creation
Microsoft
something.
making it, right? But
Bungie came back. That was good.
but I think that we're relatively honest. Like, so for instance, like I'm just going to go to a couple parts here for you. It says the visual quality and attention to detail on The Last of Us Part 2 is absolutely best in class in basically every area. And the overall presentation is significantly ahead of anything that any other team has been able to produce on console or PC.
Dang.
We were frequently stunned by the quality of the game's visuals. Sometimes that sadly seldom something that sadly seldom happens these days. It's even more impressive considering that the game features 2 separate player characters. Players certainly have had every right to their subjective feelings and opinions on the game's narrative, on Naughty Dog's choice to make the players a diametrically opposed protagonist, or in the game's final contentious outcome. But as someone who cares deeply about the evolution and expansion of what storytelling and interactive entertainment can be, those things ultimately matter less than how incredibly well Naughty Dog has crafted and delivered the story they wanted to tell.
So they're definitely fawning over this thing, man.
The Last of Us Part 2 is the exceedingly rare video game where what it accomplishes in moving forward the art of narrative storytelling in video games as a medium ultimately outweighs whether or not everyone likes it, or even if everyone has fun playing it. But that said, we loved it, had a great time playing it, and find ourselves still thinking about its characters and stories even after finishing our playthrough.
Damn.
So they're really, really gushing over this game.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think like it says a lot more when you hear it from the competition.
Oh yeah.
We debate, gamers debate and argue. Fanboys, Sony ponies, Xbots, go at it. What's good, what isn't good. But when you hear from like them directly internally on how they felt, it's almost like, okay, you can't argue with that. Like that is just the proof is in the pudding on how incredible that game is, and
now
why
you
we
have
were
to see if
fawning
they
over
can
it
take
so
anything
much.
from it and possibly improve their games. So
And
that
that's
they
a
can
great
take some of
point,
those
right?
aspects.
Like that's the good news that we hope that they learn, right, and try to make something on that level.
Yeah. Because it said something along the lines of them moving those narrative kind of games forward. So yeah, everyone's taking notes on this. Like, ooh, this is how we do it. Let's try to make our version. Like clearly it's a game like Genshin Impact. They played Breath of the Wild and some other great games and like, let's make it better. You know what I mean?
Start
Exactly.
defining
So-
that category and start making it what it is. But
Yeah, it's why I was telling you, even if you are struggling with Last of Us 1, like try to muscle through it to play the part 2 because it's so stinking jaw-dropping and incredible.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe it. It's why I kept talking about earlier, even though it had some of its faults and we talked about some of the story and narrative things that we had a hard time with, I couldn't stop thinking about it and I couldn't stop being in awe of it just because of how the detail was so off the charts and how the gameplay was so incredible. I enjoyed the gunplay too. It worked for the world that it's meant to be in.
yeah, I never had a problem with the gunplay. I'm like, okay, this works for me.
So I just get on it, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Get on it.
I have
If
it.
you haven't played it,
I have
you
it
need to play
installed. So, I reinstalled it from the little collection thing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So the next one we've got is the Game Pass games for May. Did you have them pulled up?
Yeah, what are those? I forgot what they were.
while we're pulling them up, I'll just say some notable ones.
Okay.
The Dragon Quest Dungeons 2. Builders, sorry.
Dungeon
Dragon Quest
Builders,
Builders 2.
Oh.
That's on the list. I bought that like a month or two ago when I was kind of having a little Dragon Quest fix.
Uh-huh.
That is an awesome game. If you like builders.
What is that about, though, the Builders? What does that mean? Is it like Minecraft?
Yeah, so it's a story-based game, and building is the main mechanic. So, for example, you start on the ship. You start on a ship. I'm just gonna speak generally. You start on a ship. You go to an island. The island is like a island that was deserted. You have to build up the island. You start making a little civilization. Then you start scouting other islands and building them up. And then there's problems with like, we're having issues with our harvest because creatures are coming. You can fight the creatures, and then you build up these people's farms and stuff. And you help towns out.
Yeah.
You learn new recipes.
Okay.
So it's a really cool like RPG. Like think of if a Minecraft had an actual story. That's what it would be.
Okay.
Well, Minecraft
is it
does
those
have
same
some.
graphics too as Minecraft? Blocky, like really blocky,
Yes,
like
but
that?
really nice.
But nicer blocky.
Like
okay.
they actually has a style to it. Like someone who had like some sort of style or,
okay.
aesthetics. They actually kind of designed it.
Yeah, that's at the top of the list here. Dragon Quest Builders.
That's
2.
an awesome game. I love it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, as far as the list goes, though, they had Just Cause 4 Reloaded,
Oh.
Outlast,
Psychonauts.
Psychonauts, Red Dead Online, Steep, which is like a snowboarding game or
Yeah,
something, or something like that.
FIFA, right?
FIFA 21.
Nice.
So that's another
machine, dude.
sport game
Told you.
that they've added
Brand
on
new.
there. The Dragon Quest Builders, Final Fantasy X and X2, and then Remnant. And some of those are specifically for PC that they're adding in, or console and cloud, things like that. But not a bad list. I mean, a couple of randoms like sprinkled here and there. Psychonauts is like mad old, so but
Yeah,
it's
I would
cool.
just say though it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, so if you wanted to go back and revisit like that old game,
I never
it's
played
really
that game,
cool, man.
But one game that I used to play in middle school was Final Fantasy X.
That's on here too.
That's a great game.
X and X2 HD.
I didn't like
remastered.
X2 because the opening is kind of weird. I didn't give it a chance. But
So when I look at this, like there isn't too much I'd play, but now that you've sold me a little bit on Dragon Quest Builders, and
It's good.
there's a little bit of a visual that looks really bright and
it's fun.
cheery.
Is that one for the cloud also?
That I don't know. I don't know if it's
It'll
for the
say it at
cloud.
the top.
I
if you're looking at the list.
paid like $15 or $20 for that game.
I'm on an IGN
So-
article.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you paid for it.
Yeah.
So
I bought it on the PlayStation. So
No, it's just console and PC. If it was for the cloud, that'd be a nice little one to have. on
Yeah,
there for
it just
the
seems
cloud.
like one to chill to.
yeah, it's super chill. And there's RPG elements. You collect weapons, you craft weapons, you level up, you get your,
It
it's
must be pretty popular if they made it too.
yeah. And the second one, I never played the first one, but they say the second one is like way better than the first. So
Cool.
it's like you don't miss anything by not skipping the first one.
Okay. Yeah. So for another one, Rockstar has trademarked Bully again. They've updated the trademark for it. I guess it was about to expire, so they went on and updated it. So I mean, Bully, that game, I don't
That's an
remember when
old
it
one,
came
dude.
out.
That was when I was in
It
high
came
school.
out in like
2000
PlayStation 2, right?
2005, 2006.
Yeah. So it's a long time that it's been out.
Because I personally had it for the 360. But yeah,
Okay.
I know that it released on the Wii. It released on the PS2. I don't know about the original Xbox, but I had it on the 360.
All right.
So I wonder, what their plans on this IP is gonna be.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's been so long since Rockstar has done anything with Bully. They just made that one and it was a one-off, but it was a great one because it was
fun.
just like playing a GTA, but
For
in
kids.
school or whatever. Yeah.
Well, what's crazy about it too is that they updated it 3 times in the same day.
Oh, what
So
do
they
you mean?
updated multiple aspects of that game, like trademarks of that game.
Okay.
That's
So
interesting.
that's why it's a little bit more newsworthy than like just a normal.
Because it could actually indicate something.
Yeah, because it clearly means that they're
That they might be
somewhat
trying to work on
committed
it.
to that title for some reason. I never played Bully. You played Bully.
Yeah, I loved Bully.
I played Bully
You played
too.
Bully too.
Mm-hmm.
I never played it. Always wanted to play it, but I never did. But my question to you, both of you, is kind of going back to what we've been talking about the last few weeks, like with the Last of Us remake and stuff. Do you want them making that, or do you want GTA 6
I would want a Bully 2.
over GTA 6?
I would not want a Bully.
No, I know not Bully. I mean, even Bully 2. Would you want that as their next game coming out, or would you want like GTA 6 as their next game coming out?
So easily GTA 6, of course.
Yeah.
I would say,
I don't like hearing that in a sense. I don't want that getting in the way.
yeah. The cool thing about if you have Xbox is the 360 copy still works well on your Xbox Series X. So just pop that bad boy in if you want. If you get the Bully fix, and I feel like that game's kind of timeless. But yeah, I would rather just have the latest. But like what Mark is saying, Bully 2 would be kind of cool.
Go ahead.
That would be I would be happy to see what new things they add to it because I would say when it came out it was kind of ahead of its time. You go to class, you freaking do like little anatomy, like it was freaking dope. You know what I mean?
I heard it was.
It was really impressive for when it came out, and that would be cool, but I would rather see GTA, of course.
I mean, if you think about it, Bully is literally just an alternate version of GTA. So it's just some things that aren't, they're not walking around shooting. You know what I mean? That's
Or driving
Using
around.
slingshots,
Yeah,
instead of
or
guns.
driving, but you can incorporate
Skateboards.
driving into Bully if you wanted to. You can put a go-kart in there,
Yeah.
riding around campus or whatever. It could be college version or something like that. I don't know.
College
Like,
version.
There's different
Dude,
things that
that'd
you could
be
do.
dope.
So I
College
wouldn't put it past like Rockstar, right? As much as they've done, improving all of these GTAs, to take everything that they've made great about Grand Theft Auto and putting it into a Bully 2 and making it so that you would want to play that just as much or as long as you play Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto
I
5's
don't
been
know,
around
man.
for like
an
7
open
years
world
or
though.
something.
Dude,
is just neater to me.
that
But,
would.
I mean, you can have an open world.
I mean, like an open city. I know what you mean. Like an open world is like a college
Dude,
campus.
what
or
if it was
something
a
like
college
yeah,
campus?
if
Dude,
it was
you're onto
college,
something
dude,
there.
like you could have
'Cause-
you're just roaming around the whole town. You got to get a day job. You know what I mean? Like in between your
Yeah, that'd be
classes,
so cool.
you're doing
Yeah,
drug
but-
deals or something like
but
that.
the game
Ride a
has
bike
to. The
around.
game has to take place on the school campus.
Well, it would have to take place in the city. It doesn't because it doesn't. It's not. If you're in college, right? You're not limited to just the campus.
Yeah.
You would be
could
limited
live
to
at the
college
dorm and
life.
go-
Well, see,
Yeah.
that's like different to me then, because like you can just spend your entire game offside campus. Then
Probably, but you got to do
then
the
that's no
storyline.
longer bully to me.
You got to do
Well,
the story.
the
If you're
bully-
like just in the world
The
driving
bully,
around,
you did go
doing-
around the town. You went to
I
your
know, but-
house and went around the town. There's a lot of outside areas of the school that you went to.
Yeah, I'm just
It's like a
I'm
little-
just saying
small
it's like-
scope, though.
Yeah,
Really small.
But, I mean,
that's
if
what,
you're
it'd have
talking
to be
about-
really small then,
Yeah.
because otherwise you would just spend your whole time
just outside
outside
the
the school, and now you're just playing GTA.
But like, yeah, that's what you can do. But I'm saying, like, in order to progress through the story, if
Yeah,
all of
you
the
gotta go to
story
class and
is
stuff.
in the campus, then you would have to go through the campus to play the rest of the story. But yeah, if it's open world and you're able to just explore the town that you're in,
That's
or the
what I'm
city
saying.
that you're
You
in,
have to still shrink the scope of it.
Yeah.
I think.
But I mean, I
That'd be
personally, because I enjoyed Bully and I like what Rockstar does, I think that they could make Bully 2 or whatever just as great as they make GTA. I mean, GTA is always in a city.
Yeah.
It's just how big that city is, you know what I mean? So it's like if you took a city aspect and you just put a community college and then you put a university in the city, and it's, you know, you're going from a community college and then you're able to move to a university or something like that. Like I feel like there's a way that they could make that work to make it almost as grand a scheme as Grand Theft Auto, because it doesn't have to revolve
I don't
around
know.
3 people now. You know what I mean? They've done one
Yeah.
person before, so it can
Yeah,
always go
I'm
back
fine
to
with
the
one person.
So
I'm just saying I would rather them commit their resources to a GTA 6, I think, than them commit their resources or pull some of the resources away to make a Bully 2, especially since they take like a decade to bring out a year. Like we get a game from them like once every 10 years. And so that means if we get Bully this time, it'll be 10 more years before we see GTA 6. And I don't know if that's worth it to me.
But one thing I always thought about too is I would feel like when we were younger, like the word bully wasn't as like, I'm not saying taboo, but now bullying is like, you know, it's always a
gotten
serious
to be
thing.
more of a thing.
You know,
yeah.
would they be able to sell a game called Bully where you're like bullying people around?
Yeah.
Would that have some backlash? Do you think?
It's funny how you can go shoot, people on the streets,
But you can't bully.
bully.
You can't
I
slingshot
know,
a kid.
I
But you
know.
can shoot a guy.
Right, you can shoot a guy, yeah.
'Cause they're
you don't
adults.
like him, you can
18
shoot him.
plus.
But you
Yeah.
can't slingshot a kid.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
I don't know. I the only thing that I would hope with all of this, if they were doing something with the title, that it wasn't just a remake. Or
yeah,
something
that's a
like
good
that.
point.
Like, I wouldn't want a remake.
A
Like,
Bully in
I
college
wouldn't
would
want
be
you to
awesome,
give me the same
dude.
story. Like I would want you to take that story and elevate that and show me what you can do.
Dang,
Like
Bully
I
in
mean,
college.
what if they were able to combine GTA 6 with Bully and
It's a DLC.
have like some type
I would
of,
only
a
want
joint-
that if it took such minimal resources for them to do.
Yeah.
Then it'd be fine for me.
But
I just
what's-
don't want it taking so many resources that it slows down
Dude,
production.
one thing that when you've been talking, I've been just been thinking of GTA Online. You know how many people like RP and stuff with
Yeah, they
Bully
do
would be a
lot.
cool setting to RP like in college. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That'd be cool if that was a pack like for the online version.
Yeah.
Like now we added this part of the map. It's the Bully. There's a university and you can enroll, sign up in class and
Right.
you know
You
buy
can do
some
other people's
swag.
homework for money and
Yeah.
different things like that.
That would be cool. That's what I thought of the whole time. Like
Yeah.
if it was on the online version, that would be kind of cool.
you start to kind of like meld the line between bullying though and adults, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, an adult can be a bully
Yeah,
to another
anybody
adult,
can be a bully,
right?
yep.
But we don't really quantify it that
yeah,
way.
we don't frown upon that.
Yeah, where when it's little kids, we do. But yeah, it's like.
But I mean, they
a
could
backward
always title
society.
it something else, right? They don't. I mean, the trademark probably was just for the name, but I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it's a cool game regardless.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I would like to see something, new from there.
Yeah,
And
that'd be
I couldn't. For me, like I get the whole allure of like a GTA 6, but they could put just as much effort as they would put into a GTA 6 into a Bully and make a 2. In my opinion, I mean, I think you could throw as much craziness as you would throw in a GTA 6 and put it into a Bully 2, and do with it what you
It
will.
would be different though. It'd have to be different, or else it's the same thing. It would
I
have to
mean,
be different, or it'd be
I
the same
said,
thing.
Bully was like the same thing as Grand Theft Auto. It was literally just in a school aspect. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
just reskinned.
So it was literally the same thing as playing like a Grand Theft
I don't know
Auto
what you mean
San
by
Andreas.
literally though. So you're shooting people with guns and you're driving
just think
cars
of,
and
like,
stealing
you know how
cars.
You
How
were
is that the
beating people,
same?
you were punching
You know how like
people.
Let me see how that's the same.
Skyrim versus like Fallout, like the underlying engine, like how you interact, how you do everything is very, very similar.
Right, because it's a Rockstar game.
You just didn't kill people. That was
So
literally
Just
the only
like
thing
Red
you
Dead
did.
Redemption has
Yeah.
a very similar.
So I'm saying
Phil.
like, you know, around that time, what maybe Vice City. So it's very similar to like Vice City, but it's just kind of reskinned. Instead of guns, you got like a slingshot. Instead of cars, you're on a skateboard. You know, you still has that still like Rockstar style. I think that's what he means to it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's different though. Just like Red Dead Redemption is different from GTA.
Oh,
Or
that's
also-
a larger. Yeah, that's
It's-
a larger.
Yeah, but the only thing that's different between the two is the setting. In Red Dead, instead of cars, you have horses.
Yeah,
You have a 6-shooter instead of a
lightning
Glock,
gun.
right? Like you're beating people and stealing things.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. The only thing that's different is the setting.
Yeah,
So I'm saying like
so yeah, it's like that.
that's what I mean. That's how the games are different from each other. I would
Yeah,
rather the
setting.
city setting and that setting. I would rather the GTA setting than a school setting. I think.
Okay, so that's what you would prefer.
I would
It's just a
rather
full
that,
on
yeah.
city
That's what I
setting.
like
It's
the
a
best.
little more vast, like a school.
Yeah, it's a little more vast. That's why.
like we don't go to school for fun per se, you
Right.
know? So I see what
That's
you're saying.
really what I mean. Like
But
I'm
if it
not
was a
saying
college
the feel
town,
won't
you'd
be
go to
cool.
like football games and stuff.
Right.
That'd be kind of cool. But
I'm not saying it would be bad. I think it would be cool. I just don't think I'd prefer it over GTA 6.
or Red Dead
Yeah,
Redemption.
or I think I would still prefer GTA 6 over Red Dead Redemption. Like
Yeah.
I like Red Dead Redemption, but I actually would still have preferred them bring out. I would have preferred GTA 6 than Red Dead Redemption 2. Although I really like Red Dead Redemption 2. I just prefer cars and I prefer that vast city feel,
Yeah, I hear you.
you know? But anyways,
Yeah. So for another set of news, PG has got another PlayStation shoe, and it's his 5th shoe. I mean, they showed like a quick little clip of it. Like there was no close-ups, like of like extreme detail. You know what I mean? You could pause the video and take a look at it and whatnot. I'd say that like, cause I'm a big sneaker fan, so like looking at the PG 1 and the 2, the PlayStation that they did for those shoes were like pretty legit. Like it might have been the PG 2 where they did like the light up tongue, where you would be able to press a button on the back of the tongue and the PlayStation symbol would light up. And that type of stuff made the shoe dope. Now they did several renditions of different colorways of that shoe, and they were not the same. They didn't have the buttons or whatever on it, so they didn't have the same effect. So if this shoe does not have like a light up button, I don't see there being any point.
how often are you pressing that button though, man?
How often?
Yeah.
I don't know. The
Never,
fact that you
right?
get
That
the
you
shit
can't.
on there is cool. That's all that matters on it. I mean, having a shoe with the PlayStation logo on it, yeah, that's cool. But there's quite a few of them.
But I'm just saying, isn't that the natural state the button shoe is in? Just with the logo on it? Like, that's really the way that it's always going to be perceived and looked at if you ever wore it out in public.
What is that? You wouldn't have the button lit?
Yeah. Yeah. So the form of the shoe with the button not being pressed is really, and for all intents and purposes, how it looks.
Yeah. If the button's not pressed.
Right. So
But the
what's wrong
shoe-
with not having the button then?
The shoe doesn't look good. Paul George does not have like any good looking shoes.
Oh, well, yeah, that's another
If
issue.
you've got an ass shoe and then you do a collaboration with PlayStation and it doesn't even have like anything special like to add up to what it has had before, then I don't know. To me, it's not that great. Like the shoe looks like
so you're just
whatever.
mad because you're just losing a feature that you don't have anymore.
No, I'm
So
mad
you're
that they
losing
gave him an
something.
ass sneaker to begin with.
Well, yeah.
So I'm
but
mad at that,
talking
and then they
about-
put PlayStation's name on it and then expect it to sell or whatever.
Yeah. I thought they were
So-
just a little too like simple looking,
Well, I mean,
in my opinion.
they had
I
the
was-
white.
I was-
They had I think on the 2 or something like that. They had a blue version. They had a gray.
Is there multiple
version.
versions of this one?
Well, there probably will be.
Okay.
There's been multiple versions of the other ones.
Because I just saw the ones you guys sent me. Because I thought last year we were looking at a shoe that looks pretty awesome. It was like a PlayStation. Was it PG that had the one that you showed me last year?
No, that was a Travis Scott dunk.
Oh, the Travis Scott dunk. That one.
So that was a
awesome.
PlayStation Travis Scott dunk.
Yeah. So I don't know much about sneakers, so I'm just gonna compare it to that one from before, the Travis Scott one. That one was dope.
Yeah,
This
that one
one
didn't have a light up, but it was also just a dunk.
But
you
that
know
one
what I
looked
mean?
cool.
So
This one
it's-
looks a little too simple to me.
You know, that's what it
yeah.
is. Yeah. So I mean, you have like the dunk that's gonna be like the dunk, and then it has like the PlayStation symbol with
like
the,
that
the
one.
colors. But the dunk is like a good looking shoe.
Great looking
I
shoe.
just never thought that the Paul George shoe looked any good.
I think it's pretty cool looking. I think they're pretty cool looking. But
So you buy them?
well, I was gonna ask you. These are like exceedingly rare, right? Like what do they do with these shoes? How rare are these? Like, what's the scarcity when it comes to these PlayStation Edition shoes?
So the ones that light up, the ones that have power to them, those are a lot more rare. The colors that came out after it, they just got bought out because they got the PlayStation name on it, and resellers do what resellers do.
right.
But they're not going for a whole lot. You could probably find a PG shoe for a decent price. Let me see. Do a quick look. Yeah, so the PG2, that was a PlayStation 1 that has the light up on it, is like $450 or roundabout.
Gee, that's pricey.
But when you look at the 2.5, it's only
2.5.
$200.
Oh, because there's no light.
I like these ones actually.
That's the 2.5.
Those are kind of
So that one's got a light up
Yeah,
on it.
I'm just saying you would never have it lit up. It is cool when you light them up, but you never have it lit up.
Yeah, so as you start
If
going,
they were always lit up, then I would think that's extra dope. But if they're just
would be.
never lit up, then
at
what's
night
the point?
they just turned on.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know how long. I've never owned a pair, so I wouldn't know how long.
Right.
If you pressed it, how long it stays lit.
Is it just on for like 30 seconds? And it's like, well, that's just gimmicky to me.
I don't think
that
it's
doesn't
on
mean
for.
anything.
I don't think it's on for 30 seconds. But
If
it's
you click it on,
probably
does it
got
stay on?
something.
Then that's cool.
I mean, I'd probably figure that it's got just as much of an LED charge rate or lifeline as like one of the self auto lacing shoes that Nike has, because those have lights that are kind of like always on
If they're always on,
there.
then I agree with
So
you
it's an
100%. That's
LED
extra dope.
on there.
If
but-
they're just like a gimmicky, like check this out, and then like they click off, then or like if it's really short lifespan, so you're like, okay, I gotta shut these off now
oh, the
because
battery's
I
dead.
don't want to burn the battery down. Then that sucks. Like, what's the point of that? Then
Yeah.
I don't care if it has
On the secondary market, hey, does the light still work?
Does the
No,
light
it doesn't
still-
work. Oh,
And they got to find a way to replace. There should be a way to replace the battery on those things too,
yeah, though. Well, there's a you're able to recharge
or
them.
a charge. Or the
So
charge.
there's a charging
oh, okay.
port that you can recharge the
That's
battery
funny.
on those
Okay,
shoes.
cool,
That's
cool.
fun.
But yeah, as far as like if the battery were to die or whatever, I think you'd be.
So what are these
back
like?
on
Are they readily available though? Can you go into Foot Locker and get a pair? Or
No, like I said before, once it has a PlayStation name slapped on it, resellers are gonna
and they
gonna
scarce it
buy
too.
them
I
all.
think I would think
So,
Nike would scarce it.
Yeah.
So I don't ever see myself getting them, but I think they're cool.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably be able to get them and pay a reseller's price, but it would be a low reseller's
Nah.
price.
Yeah.
But you'd still be able
Yeah,
to get
500
them. You'd be able to
probably
obtain them.
500.
You probably wouldn't be able to obtain
Yeah.
them
the
retail.
price of a PS5.
Price of a PS5, yeah, probably 500 for them.
No, thank you.
So, but as far as the shoe looks, it's kind of whatever. You're putting it on a Paul George shoe, and like I said, Paul George shoes have not looked the greatest.
I see.
CP3 shoes have not looked the greatest. Carmelo Anthony shoes have not looked the greatest. Like, there's so many other shoes out there that just don't add up to like
Yeah.
what a Jordan's line will
Yeah,
add up
I
to.
agree with you,
So,
but the PlayStation stuff does make it a cool shoe.
Yeah.
That's what makes it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
getting
never
that
buy the
PlayStation
Paul
logo.
George shoe without the PlayStation.
logo, yeah.
Like the colorway and the PlayStation logo makes it look cool to me.
Right, and
But
that's
like
what
I
they're
would
banking
rock
on.
those if
Right.
I could get my hand on them, on a non-reseller price.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'll never own them. But the PlayStation does make them cool, and I think it's awesome that they do this.
Oh yeah.
That they
It's
have
amazing.
some,
Kind of collaboration.
yeah, with
them,
Nike and a player, and make a cool PlayStation shoe. I think that's cool.
That's really cool.
But yeah, Paul George's shoe is not the greatest, but the PlayStation is cool.
Yeah, but when
I
you look
know.
at like the Paul George PlayStation shoe, even at its highest price, like $470, and then you look at a Travis Scott Dunk, Nike Dunk that has got PlayStation logo on it, and that shit's like $1,500. You know what I mean? There's like a
Sure.
huge
Yeah.
jump
Yeah,
on like
yeah,
what the shoe
yeah.
looks like.
Hey, 'cause
PlayStation
one
name's
looks
only
nice,
gonna
man.
carry it so far,
Right.
but
Sure.
yeah. So that's cool.
So what you're
they're
telling them
gonna-
is just to collaborate with Travis Scott more.
or just use a damn better shoe. Just stop using a Paul George shoe. Use something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Use a KD or use a LeBron or something.
Uh,
I'm not a big
KD
fan of
shoes
LeBron shoes.
Haven't really looked that great
much.
to me.
What's
they-
going? What's
do they
happening
still-
with Kobe, man? Is Is his family gonna re-sign with Nike? Are we
I
done
think
with
he's
Nike
gonna-
Kobe's, man?
I think he's got enough clout to be able to do his family to do like a Mamba brand and like have some
I'm
kind
gonna
of
miss.
Mamba
I'm gonna miss
PlayStation.
the Kobe's at Nike, man. If
Yeah,
that
those
happens.
Kobe's are gonna skyrocket, unfortunately, because of this.
Yeah.
You know.
I still have my Moonwalker 8s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You still have
I
them,
still
huh?
have those.
You gotta check the
Only
condition
wore
of
them a
those
couple
suckers.
times, so they're pretty good condition. But anyways,
Yeah. But moving on for the last piece of quick shot news, we have the Burning Crusade for World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
That is actually releasing again, like the
Yeah.
server or whatever.
So the
is going on,
classic
expansion.
the classic servers are coming out June 1st.
Okay.
All right, and the pre-patch is coming out May 18th. So it's very funny because everyone has been saying, "When's the expansion coming out? When's the expansion coming out? We want the expansion. We're bored. We want the expansion. We want the expansion." And then an article comes out, multiple articles come out saying that they're losing, just this year or this month, they lost 2 million World of Warcraft players. Last year, their numbers were in the toilet. Keep in mind, COVID era, everyone's numbers were up in the video gaming world.
You playing, you ain't got nothing
Because you're
else to do.
home.
yeah.
Their numbers down in the toilets. Not just across World of Warcraft, but across all their games.
Yeah. Not
Surprise-
for you though, because you've been playing it the whole time.
I've been
Not the whole time,
Not the whole time.
but he played it.
But I quit. I quit the newest expansion and I quit Classic.
Okay.
Anyways, but I didn't just quit the games. All the people been quitting too and flocking. So, anyways, it seems like it's a burning ship. And then fast forward to this freaking week, they announce, "Hey guys, you're gonna have 2 weeks of the pre-patch, and and it's coming out May 1st." And everyone's like, "Wait, that's kind of too soon." On top of that, they told everyone, "Hey guys, when the Burning Crusade comes out, you're going to be able to boost your character up so you can get into the action fun. Don't worry, you can only do it once, but you'll be able to boost your character. You'll be able to enjoy the Burning Crusade." Everyone's like, "Yeah, we're
A
getting
free boost.
That's what everyone thought because you could do it once. They never set a price.
So what? If I have a level 20 character, they can. Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can just
If
create
you
it.
already
level
have a
one.
60 though.
If you have a sticky, but it was it was incentive for people who didn't even play.
Okay.
Like maybe someone who missed out because they didn't like Classic, but they like Burning Crusade.
Well, if you hadn't played since Burning Crusade, then
Yeah.
you wanted to play it again because you really enjoyed it.
Exactly. So now they said to boost characters is $40.
Ooh.
To clone your character from Classic, to clone your character and have a version in Classic and Burning Crusade is $35.
So if you had a character in Classic, you can move it to the Burning Crusade, but it's no going back.
Correct.
It's there in
Yeah.
Burning Crusade.
Correct.
So
But-
in order to get a duplicate and keep your character in Classic and bring one to Burning Crusade, you have to pay $35.
Correct. Keep in mind, you kind of forced because a lot of people who have the best gear, max gear, like your character is like S tier, perfect. They don't want to just like throw it all away. So a lot of people feel like, shit, I got to pay $35 for all my characters that are top geared because I want it to be in this era perfect.
It's not even for your account. It's per character.
It's per character.
Yeah, wow.
So, dude, on top of that, they released a $70 deluxe edition
Yeah.
that gives you a mount. That gives you some clickies. So, dude,
Does that come with the $35
No, it's separate.
character duplication?
No,
was a lot
that's
of-
not even included.
That's not included
Oh,
in
the
the
$70
$70
doesn't
version?
include
No,
the
it doesn't
character.
include that.
damn.
It doesn't include the dupe. So, dude, they just announced all these nickel and dime. They're gonna milk people because people, I even contemplated buying the $70 deluxe edition because I'm like, well, damn, it comes with the boost, it comes with the mount. Shit, I might as well just get it.
What's the point of like? So there's a few questions I have. What are people doing in Classic WoW when they have an S tier character? What are you doing now?
The question
So
is,
what
what
is-
can't you do?
What are you doing
Charging
now?
to kite people around.
The question is, what can't you do? You can go into BGs and destroy everyone.
Okay.
You can charge people money to boost them through dungeons.
Oh, they're charging people money. So that's something.
So people.
So you're making money? Is that what it is? I'm
a
just thinking
bodyguard.
like once you hit like S tier, you've farmed. You got every raid on farm. There's nothing more you can get. Why? Just transfer it over.
You
Like,
can
I'm wondering like what else do you need to do in Classic?
so you can boost people, so you can get WoW tokens. So people trade WoW tokens for like boosting for gold. So you can play for free essentially by boosting people.
Okay.
So just boosting people, being unstoppable force because you could just kill everybody.
Not for 10 more years though. I
Well-
mean, how long are you going to be doing
Well, the
this
server
for?
is gonna be out forever.
I know. I'm just saying. So how long
So-
are you going to be doing this? Let's hop into BGs again today and stomp everybody. I'm just saying.
Well, just
like,
think
what's
about
wrong
it.
with
When all
if
the
you wanted to
guilds
play the Burning Crusade,
when
yeah,
all
I
the
just feel
guilds
like-
move, it's going to be harder to. There's going to be less people farming, the highest content because
if you want to make money, then okay.
So
I get it.
I mean, and your character is like you have the best. Like it's just cool sometimes in a game to just like relax and be like, oh, I have
Walk
a character
around like
here.
the shit.
Yeah, I have a character here.
You
You
see
log
me?
on.
You see what I got on?
Yeah, you have the best of the
This
best.
Dior, this
That
Givenchy.
face, man.
Like you see me?
Yeah.
You see me?
So honestly, sometimes in a game, it's just like you like to hop on and be like, all right, let me look at my gear. I'm the best. I'm decked out. Maybe your friend starts playing. Oh yeah, let me jump on.
You know,
my guy
you
and help
always
you.
like to flaunt the flaming head when you playing the Destiny and you did the
Oh yeah,
the
I know what you're
nightfall.
talking about.
Yeah, your burning head.
Whatever.
You know, you
But
take your
could
hat
you
off.
shut that
walk
off
around.
though? You couldn't shut that off, right?
Nah, cause it's a badge of honor, man, that you did that shit.
I'm just saying. I don't think they let you shut it
I
off.
did this shit this
Yeah.
week. You see how hard that was? I did it.
Yeah.
Check
So-
my head out.
I'm leaving my characters in
My
classic
shit
because I ain't
flaming.
playing.
Oh, man.
I'm leaving my 260s in classic with my raid gear. I'm just gonna leave them in classic, and I'm starting new characters for the Burning Crusade.
Is there a choice to join the Burning Crusade at level 1 and level up to the Burning Crusade? Like, so
Yeah,
is it
because you got to
classic
pay the
and-
$40 for the boost.
No, I know. I'm just saying. So you could do that route too.
Yeah, so I
You know?
started a new character now. So I'm a new character that I'm gonna take to the Burning Crusade.
Yeah, I think
And
it's a
you're just
bunch of
gonna
bonk,
grind it
man.
out?
I agree.
You're just gonna grind it out.
I think it is stupid. The duplication should be free.
They should have just done that from default.
The character boost is fine. The duplication is bull crap. If people want to duplicate their character, I think
That
that's
should be
really
free.
that's rank.
Like-
I think that's totally rank. Totally rank.
Because if you duplicate your character, right, the armor and stuff that you have is obsolete, right, in the Burning Crusade.
More or less, yes.
So yeah, I don't see what's the hassle. It's like
Yeah.
it's just like taking your character and throwing them in naked again.
Essentially,
Like,
yeah. Because once you do quests, you'll be upgrading. Depending on how raid geared you are.
Yeah.
It may give you a little advantage. If you're top decked out, you can quest to level 70 and not have to worry about getting greens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But more or less, it's such an insignificant thing. I think they should have just gave everyone a clone. Like, hey guys, because essentially you're gonna be like ruining certain populations. Like,
I didn't know they were doing like. I didn't know they were doing like
migrating.
separate servers.
so all the servers get.
I
cloned.
thought it was gonna be like the normal game. When Burning Crusade came out and you wanted to keep playing, you were just gonna change your gear anyways, and so it's almost like you're losing your classic character regardless, because that's just
Yeah.
how expansions work.
right, because that gear becomes obsolete
that gear
now.
becomes
and you need the new
obsolete
stuff.
anyways. So I think like that's what they're thinking, but it's ranked when you're. So I thought it was just gonna be
No,
like,
it's
we're
separate servers.
adding it in, and so now you can just
It's
go.
2. So the
So if
server
it's
gets
2,
duplicated.
then it's just
Boop.
rank. Yeah,
The server
it's
gets
rank.
duplicated, right? So there's a classic. So one of my servers is called Fairbanks. So there's the classic Fairbanks, and then there's the Burning Crusade Fairbanks. When you log in, it says where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the classic server, or do you want to go to the Burning Crusade? You can only pick one, or you can spend $35 and pick them both.
I think it should be one or the other. I think it should be, you either pay for a duplicate, or you start the game fresh on a 60. That isn't yours.
That
A
is what it
pre-built
is.
60. No, that costs $40. It costs
No,
$40
the 40
to
bucks
start.
is the level boost, right?
Yeah, to 60
So 58. Yep.
Okay.
or 58.
Mm-hmm.
That's I think if you're going to start like a separate server that's not attached to Classic,
Just
so
make it
everyone
fresh.
has to like join in, then you should join in at what that content is. Do you see what I'm saying? So you should. So Classic, you join in because Classic starts at level 1, so you join at level 1. Burning Crusade starts at 58, so you should join at 58 if you want to join that server. And then there should be a charge if you want to transfer your Classic character over to Burning Crusade. And then I get the charge to duplicate. But otherwise, I think it should be one or the other. Either you're paying $35 to transfer over, or you're starting fresh on a 58 character that they just give you. That's how I think it should work, because that's what the content is.
I think they should.
That's dumb that there's a character boost.
I think they should just clone. Oh, you can only do the character boost once. But I think they should just clone all your characters. You know what I mean? That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I think you should have a copy in Burning Crusade if you want to do that, and you have your copy in Classic because that's where you created it.
But does it really matter, though? I'm just saying from my perspective. Does it matter to you if it's a clone or a 58 they give you? Because in both scenarios, your
Yes,
characters
it
are losing
matters.
all their gear either way.
Because all your reputation that you grinded, all your factions,
See, I
all
think
your gold.
I think it all should just be like what you would start with in classic is what that character will have.
Because think about it, all your progression with all, like, let's say, all of the factions, you know, getting exalted. What if you grinded all the other mounts, racial mounts? What if you grinded BGs and you got the, you know, the titles for having exalted for all of the you know, the BGs? There's a lot of other things.
I don't know how any of that character. Yeah, I don't know necessarily how any of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of content that you still want from your original character. All your trade skills, all your materials that you farmed in preparation for the Burning Crusade. I don't know. They're just like, it's just very interesting.
Well, and also the mount stuff too, right? You were never able to buy like shop mounts in the Burning Crusade, and now like you are.
Now
so
you
that's
can.
totally ranked too.
Because before you had to like farm up your money a little bit, you know, it wasn't super expensive, but anywho, it's just all these little nickel and diming things, dude. It's just very suspect to me.
Yeah,
because
sounds like they're scraping the bottom.
Because they're nickel and diming this more than the actual current game. Like, you know, this deluxe edition is the same price as the current deluxe edition. They're developing for that. This has been developed over 10 years ago.
Yeah, I wonder if this is like all of the reject people that weren't allowed to work on the new World of Warcraft stuff, and so they're like, damn man, I gotta feed my kids. We gotta start nickel and diming and shit, man.
I just think they saw how popular classic was, and they're trying to capitalize.
Yeah, so
real.
Unfortunately, they're doing all of this stuff. If you guys enjoy World of Warcraft, though, hey, the Burn of the Crusade is out or coming
June 1st.
out. So you know,
You're
look
playing
forward
it,
to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Come on, dude. See, you just perpetuate it, dude. I know.
But maybe he's not doing the character.
No, he's paying $35. He's paying
stuff.
$35 to transfer his character over.
I told you I created a new character. Did you not listen to what I was just saying?
What?
He already created.
I told you I created new characters that are coming to the Burning Crusade. I'm keeping my 60s and classic.
He's
I
leaving
created
them in
new
the classic.
characters.
Oh,
that are
level
gonna go.
ones?
Yeah, so I'm leveling up new guys to take over.
In classic?
Yes.
You're paying for the duplicate.
No. He started a new
Oh, you
character
get one
in that
duplicate for
thing.
free.
No. All right. So you choose. Does your character stay in classic or go to the Burning Crusade?
Right.
That's free. When the game comes out. So I created a new character that's going to the Burning Crusade.
So you're using your one free duplicate.
No, it's not a duplicate.
It's not a duplicate.
A duplicate is your character exists in classic.
Well, by duplicate I mean is they're duplicating your character in the new world.
No,
Well,
he's moving.
I know,
migrating
I know,
it
but
over.
that's what I mean.
Your
That's what I mean.
Your server still stays
No,
the same,
that's
but-
what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for the quick shots. But on to the main topics. Discord and PlayStation. Seems they've had like a little deal going on. They did like a little joint venture
partnership?
together. Yeah, something like that. So it looks like now we'll possibly be seeing soon a Discord app that will be able to be downloaded from the PlayStation
I don't know what we're gonna see,
network or something like that.
Yeah, so
PlayStation
it was
service.
very vague on this article. What we do know is it's coming next year, 2022. What we do know is it did make mention of a mobile app and a PlayStation app. So does that mean on the PlayStation app that we have, is it going to have some Discord functionality?
Extra feature on there?
It could. Or does that just refer to the current Discord app that already exists?
Right.
But it is coming next year. That's pretty much all we really know.
Yeah, I mean, having a Discord accessible through your PlayStation app would be cool because it'd be something else to use your PlayStation app for. You're able to use the PlayStation app a lot more than I feel you can use the Xbox app, not the Game Pass app, but the Xbox app. But I mean, I'm definitely excited or hoping that it'll be like what we discussed a couple of podcasts ago, where you could just download that Discord app on your PlayStation and then be able to talk through there. And now anybody who's in that Discord can join in on your conversation from whatever system they're on. Like, you know, that would be the ideal situation, right? I mean, that's what Discord is for.
Or I mean, I think they canned communities on the PS5, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of rumors, or not rumors, but a lot of frustration. I heard that they canned communities. I was never part of a community on my PlayStation, but I guess supposedly there were some people that loved it, and they canned it. So maybe they knew they were going to do this, and that's why they canned the communities, because Discord is basically communities.
Right.
You're
But
right.
it's just much better technology.
on
The
a
Discord
grander
tech
scale.
is just much better tech, right? It works.
Right.
So that would be cool. Like if they just all of a sudden it's just like in the system. That's what I would want.
That'd be
I
dope.
want it to just be like part of the system. I don't have to like go to a store and download it. It's just integrated right into the community UI on the system, and you just search for one and you join it and you're chatting. You go into the chat just like Discord. you go in there and you find a chat room and you join it, and then you just play your games.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping and praying for. I don't know if that's what we'll get because it's too soon to know.
Yeah. I feel like it would still be like an app that you have to download, but I mean, definitely if you're like, you go into that instead of creating a party to talk to somebody, you just go into the Discord and, then
I'm
you're able to
hoping
start
that
talking.
it's that seamless.
Yeah.
So that's why I said integrated into the UI.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to be like this separate thing or whatever it may
launch
be.
it.
Yeah, that has to launch. I want it to be like the party system now.
Well,
I
you
want
gotta
that kind
launch
of
a party.
integration.
You
Huh?
kind of got to launch a party. You know what I mean? To talk to somebody. So I feel like that should still be a step.
But as long as like it's not an additional step where I have to like find
always,
the
like,
Discord
or
app
like
and
stay
then join a
in
party
it.
or
Definitely
stay in.
don't want to stay in it.
I just want it to be like kind of partly how Mark said. You turn it on and it's there.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like that's what he says. It's always on. When he turns his PC on, it's the first app that launches.
Especially
I just
if
want
it's
that
like-
kind of level of seamlessness. I don't want these extra steps.
Yeah, especially if it's like you just rested your PlayStation or something like that. You know,
And
what I mean?
especially
Like you
that.
never
Especially
closed
if I
out of the app,
rested,
so you're always in it.
Especially if I rested.
The only problem I could see with that is that if you were like always in a Discord, or Discord room or something like that, if your mic is always on, then that means that they could hear. If somebody's in the Discord, they would hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be like, privacy issues or whatever. Like you'd have to make sure that you remember to mute your mic
Or leave the
whatnot.
room. Yeah.
If you're like pausing your game or whatever, you know what I mean? If you turn your game off, you're turning your game back on, you're waiting for everything to, your TV to turn on or whatever, but it's still hearing everything that you're doing in there. So that would be my only concern as far as like privacy.
I would love it though.
So-
Like I would love to just like fire it up, go to the
Yeah,
Discord and just see what people said throughout the night or the rest of the other day. See if you all are on or whatever. I mean, we see if each other are on already with the friends list, but you know what I mean. Like it'd be just so much easier.
Yeah, one
for,
thing
like everything.
One thing I like about Discord is if you're logged in, it shows you like what game you're playing on the PC. And on the PC, on the console worlds that exist forever.
Yeah.
But on the PC, it's kind of harder to see. Like, oh, is my friend playing a Battle.net game? I can see if we're friends there. But Discord shows you. It would be cool if you can see like what platform they're on and what game they're playing. Like,
Totally.
Oh, he's not on PlayStation right now. He's on the PC. Playing Hearthstone or something like that. That would be cool to have that.
Makes it a lot
functionality.
easier if you're able to get it on if they were to do it on Xbox.
I know, I was just
And
gonna
then you do
mention
the
that.
crossplay, like for Outriders,
That'd
you
be
have to give
perfect.
them,
It'd
like,
be
a code.
really cool,
You
like
can just say the code, and then everybody's able to play.
or even if I just log on to my PlayStation and I click on our Discord community and I see you're on Xbox playing Outriders, I'll go, oh cool, I'll swap to my Xbox now.
Yeah.
Like being able to see what, like you're saying, like, but I hope Xbox is part of it. It sounds like PC and PlayStation are going to be like having this partnership. But what about Xbox? Where does Xbox fall into that? Because there are times when you're playing your Xbox and I'm playing PlayStation, or
But
I'm
you
playing
just don't
PlayStation
know.
and you're playing your Xbox, and I would have never have known you
Yeah.
were playing it. And
Right.
you could have played. That's always the biggest barrier, is not knowing when your friend is playing.
Yeah.
Right,
Or
unless
when
you
they're
hit
not,
them up,
and
or
you
something.
hit them up,
and half
physically
the
call
time,
them, yeah.
half the time you're bad with like texting because you're in the game, so like,
Right.
you're not looking at your phone.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if you're playing the game and I'm shooting, hey, you trying to play Outriders or something, but you playing PlayStation, I don't know, you never.
Or I'm in
mentioned,
the
so
middle
I'm just
of
playing
it.
Outriders by
Yeah.
myself or
Yeah.
whatever. But,
That's how I am. Like, when I'm working, I have Discord up on like on my work PC too, just like minimized. But that's how I chat to people. Like Squid hits me up. He never calls me or texts me.
He just hops
hits
on
me. I
Discord?
talk to him on Discord like exclusively.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if I have a question, I just message him on if I want to text him, I'll
Text
message
him
him
through Discord?
on Discord on my phone. That's how we talk to each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you were saying, that would make that even better because if I'm on a PC and I see one of you guys, oh, you're playing that game
On PlayStation.
Oh, let me hop.
Yeah,
let
or
me-
on Xbox.
Let me
Exactly.
switch over to this real quick.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's the dream.
yeah, it just makes like your friends list like an actual friends list, because it sucks managing like all these different freaking friends lists, and sometimes you forget to add your friend on this thing. But yeah, dude, that's the dream. I forgot about the communities thing. I used to join communities for Smite, and that was really, really active. That's how people look for group. Because it was like real time people, hey, I'm looking for a group. It would be cool if they list the official Discord to Smite, and then people can just go to the PS5 looking for group tab and be like, hey, I'm looking for a group, and then they're like, oh, join, this channel, So
Yeah, there's lots of cool things that I hope we just don't know enough yet.
Yeah.
I really hope it's
Sky's the
good.
limit
I
for
really
this.
hope it's good. I just don't know. I don't want to get too excited over something that
yeah,
I don't know enough about yet.
Yeah.
Especially because it was a small investment Sony made. We just don't know.
And then my hopes is also that that the rest of these companies follow suit. You know what I mean? And like PlayStation did this with Discord. Oh, it's like working out great for them. Like Xbox decides to join, and then maybe the Switch. You know what I mean? So that you kind of have like
a real
one
global
ecosystem where
friends
everybody
list,
is able to communicate with each other. Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be like Xbox bots versus ponies.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like we
those
should
days
all
are
be
over,
able
I
to
think.
like.
I will say that I'm
like,
worried
commingle and
though
stuff.
with what we're about to talk about with the whole crossplay and stuff. With PlayStation and Discord, if someone's going to be stingy again, I'm like, well, we partnered with you, Discord, so now you can't with Switch, and now you can't with Xbox. I'm worried a little bit about that. Unless you give us a cut. Like, I don't know, man. Sony's really bucking this whole global kind of gaming community thing that we're all wanting.
Yeah.
All the crossplay and global friends list that you just mentioned. Like, I don't know. Sony does not seem to be.
But if you're able to
board
do
with
it
any of
through
that.
Discord or something like that, like another entity, but that entity is able to put itself on the systems, then that would be it, right? Because it doesn't have shit to do with Sony. It's my app. My app is able to get people's voices from everywhere. You know what I mean? But you allow my app on here. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
The question is, the moment Discord goes public, are you guys instantly buying into that stock?
Of course. I think you got
That's a
to.
big
If you
future
seen how
one, right?
Roblox did, like
think
you saw
Discord
how
has a bright
Roblox
future.
I think
did,
that'd
there
be
was
a good
something
one.
else that just did.
I think they're going to be pretty.
I think I think eventually Discord will pivot to like non-gaming things, and people will just see it as like a good service. So I think when they make that transition, it'll
it's going to be a good stock to invest in, right?
Yeah. So on to the next topic. Sony is getting sued for digital game sales. Seems they've been kind of wrestling where you can buy digital games from, and they've made it so that you can only purchase digital games for the PlayStation on the PlayStation. So it just eliminates the fact that Best Buy has those little cards out there that allow you to do a digital
Walmart,
purchase. Walmart,
Amazon.
GameStop, even
Amazon.
Amazon being able to have digital purchases. So I mean, when you look at it on the grand scheme of things, I understand. You know what I mean? Like you're offering digital games, and they want to probably get like the majority of the percentage of the sales. So why not just offer it here? It's easier that way. But on the flip side, they don't have to deal with other stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't really buy digital games like that, so it doesn't matter to me. I would probably first place I would search for a digital game would be the PlayStation Store. If it's too high, I'm just not gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just what it's gonna be. If I know that there's a physical copy that's cheaper than the digital, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is. But like, how do you guys feel about the situation?
So I think it's kind of on the stricey end of things, because in 2019, I guess this article I was reading, it said in 2019, that's when they pulled from all the shelves. So, Walmart, so you're saying Best Buys.
And
Amazon.
Sony directed that? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
So up until that time, anytime like a game went on sale, it would kind of trickle. Okay, the Xbox version, the PlayStation version, and then the physical versions all are on sale. But after 2019, these sales that would go in these brick and mortar stores, they would have no bearing, obviously, on the digital store. So now, if you wanted to buy something, you would be at the mercy of the digital store. A recent story I have is I was telling Squid to try, Fallout 76.
Right.
He checked the price. $59.99. I was like, whoa, it's $59 on the PlayStation Store? What the heck? That's a ripoff. Like, do not buy it for that, obviously. Everywhere else in the world, it was like $8, $10. But they're still charging 100% of the MSRP or launch price. And they have no competition, because where else are you going to get a digital version of Fallout 76? Nowhere.
Right.
You can't buy it at the
That's
store.
true.
You can't buy a key for it. You're screwed. So it's their way of kind of, just controlling their market 100%. I mean, it's smart from a business perspective, but for competition's sake, it kind of sucks.
That just reminded me. That makes it rough for like the PlayStation digital consoles, because everything that they have to get is that they get to play is literally.
I
through
was
the
just gonna
PlayStation.
say, like, this is why. Well, one of the reasons why we emphasized heavily to
Getting
not
that
buy
physical.
a digital edition
Yeah.
PlayStation and even an Xbox. Even though I do think the S is of incredible value.
Mm-hmm.
So I will always stand by that, and I think it's worth getting,
Yeah.
especially if you never plan to buy a disc for it, which I never do, which I did buy one. But that's why, because there's always going to be a market for physical games that you can find and will and deal on. With digital games, it's always so much harder. And if you bought a digital, I think a lot of this I feel is like, in my opinion, I think these are some dudes who are not happy because they bought a digital PS5 and they're seeing that the games are so stinking expensive. And they are. For some reason, Sony does not. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but it's like they're completely ignorant of the third party markets, like completely and utterly ignorant.
Or they want nothing to do with them.
Like, I just don't get how you can charge $60 for Fallout 76. Are you that blind? I don't get it. I just feels like incompetence to me. There's no other explanation because I don't know. They must not be selling any. Like, because you just have to. I would like to see the numbers. Are they selling any at $59.99? Like, what are the numbers that you would do that unless you're just completely ignorant that you can get it for $8 on a bargain bin by GameStop
Brand
or
new.
on
eBay,
Offer Up, right?
At that point, though, it's like supply and demand, right? Like, you want this game, and literally the only way you will ever be able to play this, because you bought my PlayStation digital console, is through my store. So
Yeah, dude.
I will
Yeah, it's
eventually have
rotten.
a sale,
It's rotten.
but until then, you're gonna have to pay the $60.
I hate the
if
digital
you want
market
that.
because it's weird. The digital market is so weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't follow market trends.
No.
Like on anybody's store, even like Xbox's store, they don't follow market trends. If they did, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But that's my worry. This is more a worry for the future for me.
Yeah.
When they no longer offer a disc edition.
Yeah.
That's
Hopefully that
frightening.
never happens.
This is why I've hated digital so
Yeah.
much my whole life.
And so Squid did buy Fallout 76. It did go on sale for $14.99, and he's like,
Okay.
"Ooh, that's a good deal." But in my head, I was like,
It's like
"That's
$7.
not a
It's
good
still
deal."
twice as
I bought
much
it
as
for
what it was.
$8
Yeah.
sealed, brand new.
Mhm.
I was like, 14.
I bought mine for like cheap, like
14
$5,
should
$6,
be the
yeah.
normal
I didn't buy
price.
it new. I think I bought it around for $8 or $9 used.
Yeah.
But I mean, it should be $10.
That's how much it should be.
Yeah, it should be a
At
$10
GameStop,
game.
I think it's like $8 right
Yeah,
now.
it should
used.
be a $10 game, honestly.
But one of the other things is like it's digital, so that's like a one-stop.
You can't get rid
That's
of it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you did not like the game, you still
Can't
have that
return it.
bitch. You cannot get your money back on it. Like
Yeah.
they make very little exceptions. Like you literally have had to have like downloaded the game and then call to return it like within the next 5-10 minutes. Like if you downloaded the game, they want to try to make it seem like, oh, I can't give you your money back. If you've done it a couple of times, they definitely don't want to try to give you your money back. You know what I mean? So there's like all those things where you're kind of like your hands are tied at a certain point. So at least with a physical, you know what I mean? You could buy a physical and never have opened it within like the 30 days. And then, you know what? I seen a sale. I'm going to just return this
Right.
or something. Or I ended up getting it as a gift.
Absolutely.
I'm going to return
Way more
this
choices.
copy and I got the other
Way
copy.
more freedom. This is why I think that this lawsuit has no legs, because someone can be like, well, you could just buy the digital. If it's $10, buy the physical copy. Like, we give you an avenue. You don't have, but if there was a world in which there was no physical avenue, then I would say this has legs.
Yeah.
Because now there's no market. There's no competition now.
Yeah.
But there
Right.
is competition with the Discord, which is why this is a hard sell, I think. It's just digital. What does it matter? Our real market is the games.
Yeah. I feel like if anything, they would probably just settle. But
Maybe, but-
because it probably would take a lot more. It would cost a lot more for them
It might. Yeah.
to sit there and fight it.
I
in
think it's a
court.
slam dunk, but yeah.
But
this
I think
has-
you could
this
probably
has-
get. I think you could probably get away with the lawsuit. Like I think the lawsuit might go through because it's like, there's no compromising. Like you literally have the monopoly on all your digital sales if you're doing that. So even if you had one other store that was able to get the digital sales, like let's say, Sony, purchases like a small percentage of Best Buy. So now you're able to purchase digital copies of games from Best Buy now.
Is
That's the
Apple that
one
way?
other
Can you
place.
buy a game card and use it on an Apple phone or whatever, like a game? Can I go to the store?
You could buy an iTunes card,
gift
and use
card,
it
but I'm
in
talking
there.
about, can I buy like,
Software.
Knights of the Old Republic digital code off Amazon? I'm just using that as an example. And use the
And-
code on my Apple product,
I don't think
or
so.
is it stuck to the Apple Store?
I think it's only in the Apple Store.
Yeah, so it's the same problem there.
Yeah.
I can buy the game on my Android for cheaper,
Right.
right? But I can't actually buy it another way on my iPhone,
On your iPhone, yeah.
without going to the app. So there's implications there, I guess.
Yeah.
But Sony has a real leg up because they offered a disc edition. So
Yeah.
if you're like Apple, you don't offer any other option. Then there's no competition really.
Yeah, but that's also true that you mentioned Apple, because
Yeah.
if there's no other way to buy a game
I was
for
just
your
wondering,
iPhone
if there
on
is.
Apple, then
right?
like, what are you gonna complain about? Because I didn't put things on sale. Like, it is what it is. This is my store. Like, if you don't want to buy a game, don't buy a game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
That's
mean?
why it's a hard sell, man.
So yeah, but
a
yeah, I
hard
definitely
fight.
feel for all those people
I
that
feel
buy those
too,
digital
man.
consoles.
I feel
It's like,
too.
damn, you're kind of jammed. You know what I mean? If you're literally at the mercy of whatever that company wants to do with their store.
Totally,
And
man.
you always see like deals and stuff going on. You always see crazy sales and stuff, but majority of the time, honestly, they're all indies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A
Xbox
large
will
majority
have
of the
mad stuff
time.
on there, indies. Nintendo consistently has a cheap like game list, but it's all indies. You know what I mean? Every now and again, you'll see something that's like a really good game that's on their store, and it's like at a discounted price, but it's rare.
Yeah,
Like, it just doesn't happen.
I
like
almost exclusively just buy indies on my PlayStation. If I'm gonna use if I buy anything digital.
that. Right, because
Very
half the time,
rare.
indies don't even have a physical copy.
Yeah,
of it,
exactly.
so-
It's very rare, and when they do, I buy. Like I bought Risk of Rain physically.
Mortal Shell.
Right, Mortal Shell physically.
yeah.
Like it's very rare when they do, but when they do, I prefer the physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's so rare when I buy like a AAA title digital. It has to be like a really good deal. And so many people, man, they spend $70 on Returnal digitally. They don't even give you a deal, man, on the digital version. It's the same as the disc version, and you're just objectively getting less. I have something physical in my hand versus not.
Did you have to pay tax
and I
on
had
that?
to pay the same amount. See, that's what I don't know. Is there tax on digital? I don't think there is.
Okay.
I don't think there is. So I think you save
No,
8%.
yeah, there isn't a tax.
So
on
you
digital.
save 8%.
Hey.
So
It's a savings.
That's not
it's
bad.
crazy, man.
But what do you think about PlayStation 5 getting new hardware next year, man?
It's simple. It's nothing big.
It's supposed to be like what type of hardware is it? Did they say?
They're just changing the processor from a 9 nanometer to a 6 nanometer design.
Is it
That's
supposed to
literally
work any
power
better?
consumption. No,
Okay.
same exact specs. It's a power consumption thing. I think it's cheaper because it's less. It's smaller.
Nice.
So you could probably print more on like the waffle or whatever it is that they're printing
yeah.
those
Less
chips on.
metal.
Yeah.
I think it's just really it's just a way to save money. It's not changing the design and not changing the
And the
internals.
PlayStation's still gonna cost the same, right?
Yeah, it's still
not
going to
making a
cost the
cheaper
same.
version or
Right.
anything.
It's not going to change the price of
Do
it.
you think that them going with something like smaller, like that 9 to the 6, do you think that that's like an inkling that they're gonna have like a slim version of a PS5?
They will eventually.
I know they will
I don't think
eventually,
this
but you don't
means-
think it's
I don't
coming,
think
like,
this is
next
part
year,
of it.
right?
Yeah, I don't think this is part of it.
Yeah.
I think it's just literally a cost saving
Yeah.
switch. They have because right with superconductors and everything, low supply, COVID. I think they're just
Yeah.
making changes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's understandable because they've
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
done mad changes. You know, they find different ways. You know, they use what's out now, and then eventually something gets made, and they figure out a way to make that. You know,
Exactly.
use that cheaper part in there.
It
to-
is a
to
little
make
early
it,
though.
so-
Yeah.
It is a little
That
early.
is super
early.
Yeah, but
Super early, man.
I think it's really just that. I don't think we're seeing a slim version yet.
It's not as big of a deal as like the Switch, right? Like when we had
Right.
that alternate
all
screen
new
version
NVIDIA
that
chip in it.
Right.
Right?
No, not the Switch 2 or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
I'm talking about, you remember how they had the original Switch, and then like a year or so after that, they had another Switch that came out. It was the same
Oh,
Switch,
better
same
battery
price,
power
but
and
it
stuff.
had
Right,
battery
yeah,
battery
right,
power,
yeah.
and then the screen was like a little
Yeah, I
bit
think I know
better.
what you're talking about.
Something like
Yeah.
that. You know,
Yeah.
that seems like a more drastic improvement where you're just like,
You're
damn,
pissed
like,
off.
I want that
Yeah,
one.
you're
Like,
pissed
I'm
off.
mad that I
Yeah.
got this one just
Yeah, I
3
don't see
weeks
that
ago or
happening
something,
here.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but I'm interested to see when they do come out with the Slim, what kind of design they're gonna do. Is it gonna look just like the PS5 does now, but just a little tinier version, maybe shorter or something, or what, But I'm interested to see what they do.
I'll stick with what I have probably to the end of the
I want to see what they
life
do
cycle,
with the
these things
the
are so
Series
powerful.
X. If they change the shape of the
I
Series
know,
X,
I know. What would they like drastically change it? Right?
Maybe they
Yeah.
put the Series X stuff into the Series S box. And they make
Oh,
something
that'd be
tinier
neat though.
for
A
the
tiny little
Series X.
That'd
system
be
like
nice,
that
yeah.
if it was that powerful as the X.
Yeah, but I think it would be lame if they reused the casing. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
they still got the
It would
same
just be cool with
casing,
something
just
that
like
tiny though, right?
But
yeah,
something that's still as powerful
nice.
as the X,
Yeah,
but
that's
in the
nice,
S,
dude. Yeah, that's nice.
That would be
But
nice.
yeah, but moving on to the last topic of the day, we got Epic Games. So this is kind of like a two-parter. So we just got like a little bit of news that states that Epic Games is when they do their crossplay with all of these systems, the consoles, all that stuff, the PC, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sony is the only one that's charging Epic Games for that feature to be added to their games,
Yeah.
which is interesting. And then on top of that, you have a list of all of Epic's payout prices that they give to developers, which I thought
And the
was
lawsuit.
interesting.
Yeah, what they pay to have a free game on the Epic Store.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So like, hey, you got this game. I want to make it free on my Epic Store. We were talking about a couple of pods ago. That
Yep.
they have like a lot to offer. So
Yep.
it's like, oh, what are they paying these people? To put these games up there.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting like how long and
I'm gonna
stuff
pull up
like
that
that.
list real quick because I missed the prices.
Yeah.
I wanted to see.
But starting off with the first part with the crossplay, right? Why is it that Sony is the only ones charging
Dude.
Epic Games for this crossplay
some BS, dude.
opportunity?
Sony is so greedy, man. I hate saying that. It's just been like we've talked about this before. I think I feel like this has been like a theme, right? They don't want to have like their PS Vita store open. They want to close that down because not cost effective. Jim Ryan thinks, why does anyone want to play old games, right? Like it's just really weird. You have to make so much money and get a certain Metacritic score to get renewed for your game.
Yeah.
Like we're just seeing like this corporate mentality. And like we were talking about it before, right? Like where does the line cross? Of course you want profits. Of course you need to make money.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you want to make boatloads of it, but at what cost? Like especially when these things get leaked. Like that does not help Sony's image, you know? Like
And it seems like a lot of stuff's been getting leaked recently. It almost feels as if somebody has it out for Sony. Because there's been a lot of shit that's been leaking that kind of like would leave a bad taste in your mouth.
right.
With Sony, you know what I mean? Especially if you don't care about Sony, you know what I mean? Like if you don't care about PlayStation or
Right.
whatever, you're an Xbox lover. It's just more fuel to add to the
Right.
flames of you
To
hating
the
PlayStation.
the
or
wars, the
whatever.
console wars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
It's just like,
exactly. Like it's weird too how Sony was so against crossplay just in general.
right.
Is that good or bad? Like
That's bad, dude.
that's
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Isn't that more
incorporate it.
revenue for you?
Because you
I
want
don't
your
understand.
you want your experience as good as possible. So when you make a game like Destruction All Stars and you try to look for a game, this is a bad example, but
Right.
when you're in the lobby,
And there's
you
no
check
one
all the
there,
game
yeah.
types. You're like, damn, I can't find a single match. Let me try again. Let me try again. And the game just came out. And you're like, well, shit. But if it was crossplay and it was on other platforms, you probably would have found a game a little quicker. It's still a bad game, and you probably still have to wait. But my point is, for multiplayer games, you need to open the gates.
Doesn't it sell consoles too? Like knowing that if I buy this console, I'm gonna be playing all the cross-gen. I can play everything I want on
you
it.
play with your friends.
I think it
or
sells
whatever.
games
like-
for that console.
Yeah.
Like if I've got an Xbox and I've got a PlayStation, and I know that you've got FIFA
Rocket
21
League. Or even
on your
FIFA.
Xbox.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, do I just get Game Pass then and play FIFA with you? Or could I just get it on
My
my
PlayStation,
PlayStation
yeah.
and then I still play with you? Oh, well, it's no crossplay, so I got to go over here and get it. Like, or like if you're thinking about Destiny or whatever, like, oh, yeah, Destiny, but I can't crossplay with you because Sony doesn't have that. So I got to go and play it on the Xbox.
It's
you know
not
what I mean?
just like it's almost in reverse too. Not only does it make you buy games for your system, but if you don't do that, it makes me feel like I have to go buy another system.
Yeah.
So it almost makes me spend money on the competition.
Right.
Because otherwise I can't play FIFA with you unless I buy an Xbox now because that's what you have it on.
Yeah, because I
Right?
tell my father-in-law, like, hey man, when you gonna get a PlayStation? Because he's got the
Right.
Xbox or whatever, but he doesn't really want to get the PlayStation. He doesn't see the value in it yet or whatever in getting a PlayStation. But Like if I want to play anything with them, I
You
have
have
to
to
play
go
on
over
my
there.
Xbox.
Yeah.
So if I want to play Outriders, I obviously didn't buy the game for my
Right.
PlayStation, but if I did have it, I would have to move to the Xbox in order to be able to play with them. And if I'm playing anything, I just can't play with him. Like I have, NBA 2K21 on my console, but I got to go to the Xbox to be able to play it with him. Because it's not
Exactly.
crossplay. Like
Yeah,
that type
or
of
like
stuff
Rocket
is
League,
just
or
like,
just any
damn.
of these games that you want to play with people on other platforms, you can't, which is just weird to me. I don't think it's so cut and dry. Like I feel like Sony thinks, oh, it's cut and dry, we lose money.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's quite that
Or that
cut and
it
dry.
costs them money to be able
Or
to
cost
enable
them.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're still at the mercy of your internet
so-
connection or whatever else.
So Hi-Res Studios, they make Smite, Paladins, a bunch of other Realm Royale, a bunch of other good games. They Gauntlet, or what's that? Dauntless.
Oh, Dauntless.
Dollars?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're great at crossplay. They were one of the first ones that did crossplay on everything except for Sony. So one of my Smite accounts, it's only for Sony. I can't, if I log in my account on anything else,
so
You can't even
frustrating.
access
I
it.
can't access it.
It's
So,
so
my
frustrating.
Sony account is different than all the other platforms. All the other platforms share my stuff,
Yeah.
but Sony is still locked in.
So you have one character that you were only able to progress solely on the Sony.
So yeah, I have
console.
one account on Smite and then one account on everything else. So it's just I always wondered why they did that. I was like, it's not obviously not a technical limitation because even the Switch, even Nintendo,
They want a
done this.
cut of the
But no, they
sales.
want it as part of the money.
Yeah.
They want it's all has to do with the money. If they didn't get royalties, because that article we were reading, it was like if a player
It
who
was showing the percent, like how they
if a player
calculate it.
who plays like 85% on the PlayStation, let's say they download the phone version or a different version, and they happen to make a purchase on that version,
Right.
they want their cut. It's like
if
what
it
the?
exceeds 60%, right? So like if you're playing 95% of your gameplay on the PlayStation, but 60% or more of your purchases are coming on, let's say, your phone, because let's say, oh, I want this thing, so you just pull your phone up and purchase it.
Yeah.
Then Epic has to give you a cut
That's some bull.
Right.
of that purchase if it exceeds that.
But
How
it's
dumb,
so-
dude!
Because what if you got a
so
gift
Or
card?
man.
you can't have crossplay on our system.
Dude, that
They're
is
just
the
figuring out any way to nickel and dime it, and that's the issue that Epic is having right now with Apple, right? Is that they didn't want for you to just bypass buying any like Fortnite bucks or whatever on the iOS to go to the Epic Game Store and purchase Fortnite bucks, and then you're able to use them while you play it on your Apple phone. Apple wants a cut of it or whatever. So that's why Apple said
See ya.
Fortnite can't be on my iPhone right
Right.
now until you fix this because I want the cut.
Right.
Like, why are these businesses so worried about it? Like,
They're-
it's all about accessibility. So, I mean,
That
just
was a little
offer it at the
different
good
because
price.
Epic like offered a way in the app to bypass the store.
Well, the way that I
So
think
it's like
the-
shiesty, a little shiesty.
Yeah, I think
But
the issue
I
that
know what
Apple
you
was
mean.
having with Epic was that they were making it for a cheaper price to buy it in the Epic Game Store than on the iOS. So it incentivizes you to stop playing for a minute, go to the Epic Game Store, purchase the V-Bucks. So now they're
Right.
over here in the Fortnite game, and you bought them for a little bit cheaper. So it's like, oh, because you're doing that now, you're trying to lead them off of my store to make sure that I don't get a cut.
And wasn't there like branding or messaging or something like within the app too, kind of like encouraging people to leave
I
think
think
the
they
app?
tweeted some stuff
or tweet or
something like that.
something, yeah.
They would tweet
There's
their
some
advertisement
something
to like
to
go,
advert
go
to
to
them.
the
Yeah.
Epic store.
They were
or
like
something like
really aggressively trying to make you avert the Apple store.
that. Right, because
Which
they
is
don't
why I
feel
understand
like
Apple's
they-
position on that. Like
But-
just, hey, dude, if they're on our store and they want to buy our store, let them buy it. Like, why do you have to be that way? Like, I get that. So it's a little different. Where
It's
here,
because Epic wanted all of the money.
Epic
from
wanted
that,
all
from
the
the
money.
V-Bucks
Yeah.
sales.
So it's
instead
hard for
of
me to set a
splitting it.
tier for Epic because they're kind of just as greedy in some ways.
Yeah,
But it is a weird little thing Sony wants.
yeah, they're all wanting these
They're
little
all
pieces
shifty.
of the pie,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and so they're all battling with it. The only thing that's like crazy to me is how they're like coming up with this ratio of like, okay, 95%, 60%. Like,
yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's just all profit for you. Like,
Yeah.
What does it hurt you? You didn't develop the game. You didn't make it. Just put it on your system.
they're the ones
and
that
people
added
will,
a market.
People will
and
spend money on your
aftermarket.
store.
Yeah,
they're
they're
the
the ones
ones
that
that come on.
If
it's just
anything,
money for
I would
you.
be charging them like the how like sometimes you go to like a gas station like AM PM, and you want to use your debit card. There's a 35-cent fee for using your debit card on there. Just put some type of fee like that on there.
Yeah.
Like if you purchase it like through my store or whatever, they're getting charged, a certain amount or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Something.
You don't need to take
But
all
it's like
of the
Sony
price or
grabs the
whatever.
one thing they can control, their platform.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and I would say, Sony, you're in the position that you're the top dog, so you can do this. But be careful because Microsoft tried doing this crap a couple years ago too, with their you can't your used games, or they tried doing some shicey stuff too. And look what happened to them. They lost the console war for that gen. And they're still trying to dig themselves out. So you guys can.
That was a deep hole, dude.
You guys, I'm not saying you're on your way, but if you're not careful,
Well, Fortnite is not available on the iOS still. So
wow, they're still fighting.
So regardless, obviously Fortnite feels that they can do this fight or whatever, and that they don't need the iOS sales or the downloads or whatever to be able to stay afloat. Now, can they alienate themselves from Sony as well, to where you're only offering it on Android phones, PC, and Xbox? I don't know, because I feel like there's a lot of people that play Fortnite on the PlayStation.
There is. It's the number one.
So you'd be killing.
It's the number one platform.
You've already
to
killed
play
your
Fortnite on.
iOS base, and now you'd be killing your Sony base if your
If this
issues
happens,
with
right?
Sony
If Sony
decides
says,
to escalate to like, okay, well, we're not going to have you on my store then.
Right.
So then it's like, okay, damn.
I know.
So in this setup, Sony has a lot more leverage power.
Because they're the number one platform.
But I mean, iOS, there's a lot more people playing on Apple phones than there is on Android.
Yeah.
So you'd think that would matter too.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they have not seen eye to eye, and it's staying that way. So I'm interested to see exactly how far this will go, because then we'll probably see Fortnite change its tune. Maybe it's not free anymore. Maybe
they're
it's
both
a
massive
pay.
corporations fighting each other. Both are not necessarily. I'm not rooting for either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it is a little bit weird that Sony. I don't know.
And
it's
Apple.
frustrating, and Apple and Epic.
That they just want they literally created this game for free, and then they created some way to get money on the back end. Now all they're doing is they pay the publishing price to get their game for free onto your service, and then they want to collect money. So like, why do you have to have your hands in that if all you're doing is allowing it to be published on your phone, on your server, and be downloaded? Like, I don't understand why Sony needs any kind of the back end money. I understand that there's a lot of money there to be had.
That's why.
But why do you feel like you're entitled to have it on there just because they're going through you?
Yeah.
I guess, like, why don't you just work out a deal?
They want their percentage.
Like, make your payment amount for publishing a game on my site more.
Didn't they say
I
too
don't know.
like how much money it was? It was like tons of money.
It was a ton of
they
money
had to
that Apple
pay.
was trying to get out of.
Yeah,
or
but
that
also
Apple
what
was trying to
Epic was
get
having
from
to
them.
pay Sony.
Yeah.
See, I don't think Epic wants that fight, which is why they do it. They pay Sony their cut because PlayStation is such a big platform for them. They need it badly. Clearly, Apple isn't quite there. But I'm a little shocked too about how well their relationship is. Like I
For
heard
them to be battling about
yeah,
this.
I
but
heard
they're still
I heard
good?
Epic was like when they were negotiating crossplay and stuff. Like in the articles we were reading, that they were really trying to phrase it to make Sony look like a hero. Like you're opening the world
Doesn't
up.
Sony own a small part of
they were
Epic?
they own.
They do have a lot of money in Epic.
Yeah, they just did another one we just talked about, the 500
they just
million
did
or whatever.
like 4 point something mil or whatever in that. But like that also makes me wonder, like, why is this even a discussion? You own part of Epic.
It's what's funny to me. They have like this
You would
great
make profits
relationship,
from that.
but they're at each other's necks here on this. It's just funny. I don't know what to
Maybe
think
that's
of
why
it.
Sony started buying more of Epic.
Yeah. They'll sign our contracts no matter what.
Oh, you ain't agreeing to my terms? I bet.
See, that's
just
what I'm
gonna
worried
buy
about
you.
with Discord too. Like Sony playing this whole game, where you can't go on Xbox's platform, if you want to come on ours.
I hope they
It's
don't
so
do that.
frustrating.
I would say luckily Discord there's less to lose because it's mainly a free service. So
Yeah.
there's not much money. There is a service in it, but I would say there's not a lot of big bucks in it yet. But who knows when
It's just a
publicly
perk,
traded,
right? It's just a perk. Yeah,
Yeah.
when it's who knows?
Then they might charge you. We have to pay a monthly subscription for this crap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you wanna unlock it for all your consoles?
Oh,
Oh.
it becomes a PS Plus option, right? So unless you have PS
Oh.
Plus, you can't use it. Just to get people to spend more money.
Dude,
Yeah. What's
What it-
interesting though is this little devs list that
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
Epic
say,
was
like, what do you
putting
think
out with
about some
all
of these
these.
prices?
Yeah,
on
all
this
these-
devs list
I
that
can't believe
Epic
they're so
paid.
low. Jeez, they're getting some.
I
good
thought they
deals.
were low too, Mark.
Dude, for the indies, they're like,
50K and stuff like
Dude.
that.
Dude,
like,
I thought some of these were low,
they got some good deals.
and some that were high that I thought would have been lower.
but I'm thinking that it's probably like a low amount of effort that was put into some of these indie games that they've got.
I just
on
don't
here.
undernd
I don't know.
prices, right? Like
But they got a couple of $1 million ones
Batman
that
was
they
like
got
only
in
$1
here.
million to give it away for
That's-
free.
15,
that's
fif-
crazy.
1.5
I would
mil.
think that would take a lot of money in licensing when they first created the game.
But
Yeah.
it's also Arkham, man. It's
Yeah.
it's Batman Arkham, so it's been
old.
out for a while.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, hey, you want a little bit extra money? Let me get that game so I can put it on there for free. You know?
what about For Honor? Ubisoft only $63,000.
Dude,
Give
I
it
saw-
away for free.
How much was For Honor getting anyways? Because wasn't it for free on the PlayStation Plus
Yeah,
at
it was
one
a pretty
point?
popular game
Yeah.
though, right? It was like
when it was
Yeah,
announced?
I
it
really
was,
liked
yeah.
For Honor. I bought it on Xbox and PC. The reason why they can give that game away for so cheap is because there's so much nickel and diming in game, season passes, classes. So you can get the game for free, but then you got to buy all that crap. So
that must be why some of these are like that are cheap like that because like it was $0 for Metro 2033.
that one doesn't make sense because
$0 here. Just give it away. They must for some reason that studio just wanted people to play it. I guess
Yeah.
they would get like
Just like
just
a
new
hey,
accounts, right? Maybe
Metro
to buy
Redux,
something.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that one doesn't make
Um,
sense.
the $0 is definitely interesting though.
But a lot of these are like in the six-figure range, like
I wish there was a more recent list.
$450K for Moonlighters.
I
Like
Yeah.
they're happy, right? Moonlighters is happy with that.
I would
right?
be.
The developers are happy.
And then
with
they
that
got
purchase,
paid. They
right?
got
Game
paid
Pass.
also to get it
for
on Game Pass.
whoever bought
So,
it, yeah, to get on Game Pass. So
yeah, if you're an indie developer, you might have seen like a cool like 1 million. You know,
you got to be happy. That's
Yeah.
a little. You're an indie developer. We would be happy. Right? Imagine if we like made a game.
I'd have to see like how
We'd
many
be
people actually
ecstatic.
worked on Moonlighters.
Right? Like we'd be ecstatic for that. But some of these down like the 45, 60K
Yeah.
seems low to me.
Jackbox Party Pack. I'm sad I missed that.
It's like
'cause
50K,
I bought
right?
That game and I love. Yeah, it was like 60K, 50K.
Doesn't that
Yeah.
seem that's so low?
That's low, dude. That's a great game.
That's
That's
low,
a great game.
dude.
I know Joe bought the whole pack for like $80. He bought every one. Those are
Yeah.
great games.
That's crazy to
It's a
me.
good deal.
Like some of these prices, what impact do you think this has on future negotiations? Like, do you think like Meat Boy goes like,
I would
gosh,
say it
all we
sets
got
a-
was 50K and Subnautica got 1.5 million?
I would say now that it's publicly available,
Meat Boy
it's
also
not
looks
good,
different than
because they're just gonna
Subnautica.
low blow people now. Like, oh, you see, what
Yeah,
we paid
'cause,
for
right,
Meat
I
Boy.
think-
That was a
yeah.
Metacritic 90.
Yeah, Meat Boy was a
So,
super highly rated game
yeah.
that sold lots of copies.
What Remains of Edith Finch was a banger.
Oh
and
yeah,
now
what that was
nothing.
125,000. That was a banger, dude. Yeah, like that's so weird.
So I would say
I
it set
don't
the bar
know.
low. I wish they didn't release that. Jeez Louise.
It's really interesting seeing the negotiations.
But
on
I
these
wish
games.
I wish there's a more modern list, because now they're giving a lot more newer and a lot more like high end games. Like,
You don't want to see those games.
kinda wanna see what they're
What's
paying
a
for
Mutant
those.
Year Zero, dude?
I love that game.
Really?
It's amazing. Remember,
$1 million for that.
it's the XCOM. It's the XCOM style like stealth game.
Oh.
It's the road.
I
to
think
Eden,
you
the
were
one I was
telling
telling
me about. You were telling us about that.
That
one of
game's
these weeks.
amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I got that one on the
Okay,
PC.
that was free on Epic.
Because that one's on Game Pass.
Well,
Oh, okay, that's on Game Pass.
yeah, I mean, some of these guys are getting paid out good. I would like to see what the payout is for games to get on Game Pass. That's the list.
That's what I
wanna
want to see.
because I want to see like why there's so many games just agreeing to put them to get on there. You know what I mean? And for
I'm
the
thinking it
length of
might be
time that they
similar.
are.
Yeah, like we pay
This
you a
is-
check and then
This is
per
probably
download.
This is probably close.
Yeah.
I bet you Moonlighters got close to this too.
Well, Moonlighters
like-
has like 101 people at 11-bit studios, so
So they made
I mean,
lots of money.
It's 101. Like I don't know how much it sold when it originally came out, but if you're getting 450 from Epic
So you're getting $1 million between Epic and Game
and
Pass,
Game Pass,
which
yeah,
is not a
that
bad payday.
is that like
you
enough
know?
for
Well, plus all your
101 people?
sales.
yeah?
Yeah, it depends
so-
on how many years it took to develop that.
Yeah, and Moonlighters was never on PlayStation, right? For
Um,
free or anything like that.
I don't think so.
So maybe the sales, I don't know,
I
but
don't know, man.
101 people, that's a lot of people, man. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering
You're
if that
not
was
quite
lucrative
just
enough.
those two things. You're not quite giving your guys a living wage for a year. for all of them.
That's
Right.
that's cheap,
Yeah.
dude.
Because
That's-
let's say,
That's
let's
a
say
lot
you
of
take
people.
like
That's
a
nothing.
million.
I thought Moonlighters would have been made by fewer people than that.
Yeah.
Let's say you
That
take
seems
like
way too many people to me.
1.5 mil, right? And you divide that by 101 people. That's $14,000.
Yeah, it's not
So
enough.
that would be like your salary.
yeah, it's nothing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I hate to say this, but I mean, this is why all the games are monetizing inside themselves. You know, we're seeing all these little transactions and things. So when they get to the crossroad, hey, do you want to give our game away for free on PS Plus, Epic, Game Pass? At least when they get lowballed, they have a back door to make a little bit of money.
That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Super Meat Boy, two guys made that game.
Yeah.
So when you see 50K, it's like okay, they each made 25 grand, and this came way after it's been released. So they're just finding additional ways to
Yeah,
make
that's
money.
all.
And they were
Just
selling.
quick
They
little
actually
hits
put
of
physical
money,
copies, I think, of
you know.
Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, like
So-
let's get a hit from Xbox, let's get a hit from here, and we'll just, push
Yeah.
out the value of our game a little further. But that does seem low. I feel like they could have negotiated a little
That's low, dude.
better than 50,000 for Super Meat Boy.
It makes you wonder though, like let's say this is completely different, but like something like Netflix. I wonder how much they pay for some of those shows.
Yeah, it makes
Is
us
it
wonder.
this little?
Negotiation, yeah.
You know, or is it like more?
Hey, just a quick question before we go. MiHoYo. So they're the ones who did Genshin Impact. I was just
MiHoYo.
curious, right? So
Okay.
Genshin Impact, great looking game.
MiHoYo.
Free 99 on all
Yeah.
consoles. How many employees do you think is
At least
is
100.
I'm
working?
curious, man. How many? 1,000?
At least 100.
2,400.
Wow.
Dude, it makes sense.
As of
It makes sense.
2021, it's 2,400. Now,
it freaking makes
when
sense,
Genshin
dude.
Impact came out, I don't know, but that game is free, and all they've got is the in-game purchases,
What a
right?
crazy
to be able
business
to
model.
fund their stuff.
What a
Now, I
crazy
don't know if
business
this
model,
is
man.
like a subsidiary of something else, but their headquarters is also in China,
Yeah, makes sense.
so
Yeah.
they can afford low wages.
Yeah.
Well,
Their cost of living is much lower
Their
than
cost of
low
living as
wage
well.
for high skill.
14,000 would be plenty.
But I mean,
You'd be
for them
living
to
wealthy.
produce Genshin Impact, it's a lot of people. Like, can your company sustain strictly off of in-game
a free
purchases?
to
Genshin
game.
can.
Yeah. No, that's why
I'm
it's a
interested
crazy
to
business
see if
model.
they'll create something
Yeah.
else. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a Genshin Impact 2, or
There will
Genshin
be.
Impact just
Oh, there
keeps
will
on
be.
creating stuff, then you know that okay, this company's got 2,400 people,
Yeah.
like, and they can sustain.
Yeah.
So
That's
where's
crazy.
the rest of y'all at? You know what I mean? Like all
It's
these
crazy to
indies should
think
just
too,
be
like
cheap.
how many people it takes to make that game.
But
That's
they're also not just making it, but they're constantly adding things to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They're always adding
Updating
new
it,
characters. Now,
fixing it.
granted, like the characters kind of have like the
Advertising
same
it.
types of abilities after a certain point. They just may have like a different art style. But the fact that they keep on
New
updating
weapons,
and adding the
yeah.
game, to the game, just makes the people who really love it want to come back and I want to play that character too,
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's
She looks
crazy,
dope.
man.
Let me try her. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So.
Yeah.
But that's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Put down in the comments if you think Sony is broke, man. Because it's with a lot of the moves that they making, they seem like they trying
Yeah,
to penny
broke.
pinch at every little corner.
Yeah,
I don't know
broke.
what it is, but they got broke mentality moves right now that they doing, and they need to change that stuff. We need to boot Jim Ryan ass up out of here.
I wish,
and
man.
get Sean Layden back if
I
that's the case.
wish.
I don't know. But yeah, so don't forget about the giveaway. If you guys haven't commented yet, go ahead, drop a comment in there, just for the giveaway. We're still going strong on that. It's 2 weeks in. So we got another 2 weeks or whatever of it. So, stay tuned with that. Subscribe also if you haven't yet. And until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
See ya.
I love you, me.